evening, everyone. Welcome back to Discordant Dragons. Tonight, we have the Sultan's crew with us, and it's going to be a fun stream. We have a lot of ridiculous Clown World news to talk about. We have some hilarious memes at the end, so be sure to stay to the treasure trove at the end tonight. You'll be glad you did. And I have no other special announcements to make today. Nothing else comes to mind. I feel good. I have a morning walk video coming out tomorrow that's positive. I've been feeling good, doing fun stuff lately. Unplugged from the cancer half the week, so that's been very healthy for me. So tonight, I am glad to bring on some friends to dig back into this disgusting news trough and see what kind of slop we can laugh about together. And who better than to laugh at fun slop with than Trym's Artshack? Welcome back to the stream, my friend.
Back again. I'm ready to dive into the slop. I have my slop shovel and everything ready.
Oh, good. You got your shovel and your snorkel ready to go. And, of course, the Sultan's friends, Fat Dave and Bleach Demon, back with us again for the Sultan's crew. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Hello.
Greetings, salutations. And Trym, did you promise fun? I mean, come on, man.
Yes, I did. Hey, all three of us are here. The Sultaning can begin.
And of course, I have my co-host 3 of 12. Welcome back, sir.
Now, this might sound harsh, but I believe everyone in the story should die.
Good times, good times. All right, so let's go to the regular view. We will have a lot to talk about tonight. So let's go ahead and bring up the branding. And let's see. Oh, no, they changed my buttons again on StreamYard. Hey, developers, stop changing things. We hate it. All right, there we go. All right, now, let us make sure. Yeah, there we go. OBS is cooperating, thank goodness. The dragons tonight. The red dragon has First Amendment on life support. The green dragon has the Asheville outcome. The black dragon has friendly federal assassin. The blue dragon has EU self-sabotage. And the white dragon has Southern Poverty Fraud Center. You can guess what that's about. So today, let's see. Do any of you want to be party leader tonight? If not, I will nominate one of you. All right, then it's Fat Dave. Fat Dave, you're the party leader.
All right.
Do you want to choose the first dragon, or do you want to nominate a party member to choose the first dragon tonight?
You know, I feel like 3 has something in the chamber, so I want to pick him to pick the first thing today. So
that's a loaded hint.
3.
Oh. So 3, do you want the Trump topic since you have a lot to say on it?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of research on this. I'll take the friendly federal assassin.
All righty, okay. Let's move now over to an article that just briefly sums it up in case some of you have been living under a rock and don't. Oh, that's the wrong button. Been living under a rock and didn't know. We'll have a look at this. Browser, please. Thank you. There we go. All right. Gunman Cole Allen sent to anti-Trump manifesto wanted to take out officials, quote, the friendly federal assassin. Here's this mixed-raced American goober right here. This is the face of American failure right here. Thank you. Accused White House Correspondents' dinner gunman Cole Allen sent a chilling anti-President Trump manifesto to his family just before opening fire, calling himself the friendly federal assassin and revealing he was hell-bent on killing Trump. On killing Trump administration officials, the Post has learned. Allen wrote that his targets were administration officials, not including Kash Patel for some reason, prioritized from highest ranking to lowest in his manifesto. Now, I have a sister article to this one. This is the manifesto. It's not very interesting and it's not very good, but if you want to read the shooter's manifesto, I'm putting it in the chat for you. Look at that if you want. It is actually not that interesting. And we'll be covering the important points of it. But if you want to see what all he had to say before he went nuts, then there you go. Have at it. So back to the article. Not this one. That's the one I just shared. All right. Quote. This is a quote from the shooter. I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. Probably he means blood, but whatever. Allen wrote, apparently referring to the president. Quote, in order to minimize casualties, I will also be using buckshot instead of slugs, less wall penetration. He wrote before disturbingly admitting he was willing to kill everyone in the room if it meant getting to his targets. Quote, I would still go through most everyone here to get to the targets if it were absolutely necessary on the basis that most people chose to attend a speech by a pedophile, rapist, and traitor and are thus complicit. But I hope it doesn't come to that, he wrote. Here he is face down on the floor. He was, of course, as he is in life, he was in arrest, or he was in terrorism, a failure. Allen referred to his Christian faith several times in the document with a list of rebuttals to imagined objections to his actions. I read them all, and he doesn't sound like a very smart person. He sounds kind of dumb and disturbed. Probably a midwit at best, probably bell curve IQ, driven crazy by anti-white media propaganda is what I would guess. But anyway, he made the mention of hot-button political issues like the Trump administration's strike on Venezuelan drug boats and the detention of illegal immigrants. Here's a quote from his manifesto. Turning the other cheek is for when you yourself are oppressed. I'm not the person raped in a detention camp. I'm not the fisherman executed without trial, he wrote in the deranged document, which a relative provided to police officials said. Here's another quote. I'm not a school kid blown up or a child starved or a teenage girl abused by the many criminals in the administration. Turning the other cheek is when someone else is oppressed. When someone else is oppressed is not Christian behavior. It's complicity in the oppressor's crimes, he wrote in the manifesto. Attorney General Todd Blanche said that investigators believe he traveled by train from LA to DC via Chicago. Man, that's a long train ride. That would have taken like 3 days. Which he speculated could have, assuming that it was not assuming there were delays. I think in America you can go coast to coast in a couple of days, but usually trains are slow and take stops and stuff. Because I looked into taking a coast to coast train ride many years ago, and it was going to take like 4 days, and I decided not to. Anyway, traveled by train from LA to DC, which he speculated could have been an attempt to avoid scrutiny associated with air travel. Well, he acted alone, and he had guns. We all know this. This has been huge news. He had, I think, 2 pistols, a knife, and a shotgun, something like that. But anyway, I did not spend a lot of time researching this because everywhere I started to look, it was nothing but conspiracy theory, psyop, this didn't happen, this is a paid actor. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just so fucking sick of every time anything happens. Everywhere I go on social media and YouTube and Rumble, all I can find is either establishment talking points or everyone saying it's a psyop or fake. I'm just so sick of that. And I hate what discourse has become around this stuff. So I didn't spend much time digging into this today. So that's why we're going to talk about it. So before we do that, let's see what our lovely dragon has to say. The Black with us tonight keeps... Oh, wait, I should bring up the dragon. I'm silly. I missed my dragon. Boop, there we go. Here's the Black with us tonight. The Black with us tonight keeps her connections and profession secret, but is comfortable saying she works with intelligence of the Great Dragon Empire. She enjoys this stream and thinks the humans of our world are capable of great things, and she hopes to see us one day rise above those who hold us back. She chose this story tonight to ask us this. 3 of 12, this is for you. Why is it so easy for an obviously armed assailant to bypass security and access such a high-profile meeting? Why does security seem incompetent around important figures in the United States?
He didn't bypass security. He was stopped at the first checkpoint.
I thought, didn't the video show him running through a checkpoint?
Yeah, he tried to. He got shot immediately.
Oh, okay. So it was still the first checkpoint where he got shot.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was at the second.
Basically, he got shot at the door.
I didn't read much about it. I got sick of trying to find details about it today, so I didn't read much.
Yeah, it was a lot easier to find them yesterday.
Well, why do you think it was so easy for him to be on site with weapons and just run through? Like, do you think that's a failing on the security of the establishment's part there? Failing of Secret Service? Well, what do you think?
Not at all. He was shot at the front door. I mean, that was literally one of many checkpoints. He didn't pass through any of them. In fact, that's kind of partially why some people are saying that, oh, this would have been, man, we really need the what was the new East Wing where he's building the ballroom,
Oh, okay.
because it would have been, it would have been farther away from the action. But still, he didn't get through any of the checkpoints. He tried to ram through, essentially. He tried to just pass through instead of sort of trying to, like,
Okay.
social engineer his way through. Like you said, he's not a very intelligent individual. He thought
It
he could
seemed
just...
that way from all I read about him. Now,
Yeah, and you can see he's
I
not
read
particularly
everything
built.
on his social media. That's what led me to think that it was easy for him to get weapons in and to start his assault, because he posted in his I don't know if it was Facebook DMs or whatever it was he was using. He made posts about how easy it was to get guns into the place and how he could walk around carrying pistols and a shotgun under his clothes and nobody noticed. He made posts about that. So that's why I phrased this question the way I did.
Yeah, and that's exactly because he basically never arrived at even the first bit of security. Essentially, that was going to be where he would stop. I mean, he could have opened fire there on the outside, but
as we read, his target was not just shooting random people. He wanted to kill higher ups, so that's why he wanted to go inside. So, since the question doesn't really apply, feel free to share all of the stuff you know, because I would love to hear what you know, because I know very little about the details other than what I fished around for a little bit today, and then became frustrated at all the woo I found and just gave up.
Well, apparently he had a rifle, like you said, he had a rifle and a shotgun. So those were California compliant, and he pulled them from his own place. And like you said, he took a train. I mean, he didn't do anything particularly like hard to do. He just basically concealed carry all the way there. And I'm a bit more aware of who he is in general since I've had the chance to look at a bunch of posts about him. So he's basically just some midwit who went to MIT and really never did anything of importance. There was he describes himself on his Blue Sky account as a game dev, an engineer, and a scientist, even though he never did anything, but he had this one project when he was at MIT where he produced modifications to wheelchairs to improve mobility, when it really was just a bunch of PVC piping stuck together. Something... Yeah, I didn't see his game, but I did see that there was a post on Steam about him abandoning the game. So, yeah.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. So it's like he's not around anymore. Yes, he has a game on Steam that he abandoned before he even did this.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about that
shovelware.
today. I did see a tweet about that today. But go on, please.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I just saw a post that mentioned that he'd given up on it, and it was clearly a Steam post. You say that like I just have that on hand.
I don't expect you to have it on hand.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, like, so he has that. He has that science project he did in college. I mean, he had all of the money and backing of, I don't know. I'd love to know, actually. I haven't looked it up. I guess I could look him. Yeah, I could look up his game.
TBT's grabbing it.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
TBT in the Rumble chat.
That's very appreciated.
Yeah, TBT grabbing it. But anyway, please go on. Tell us all that you know and all that you've learned about it, because I know very little.
Right. So he has like this really contradictory background where he had plenty of money behind him. He went to an Ivy League school, and then basically he did nothing because he became a school teacher. And although that's not the weirdest thing on the planet, there's all sorts of people who start in like really high performance industries and then get burnt out by it and do something simple. I've known government chemists that have become chemistry teachers because they found it a lot easier to do and a lot less stressful.
Mm-hmm.
But it just seems like he was never really had the intelligence to do any of the things, and he was told constantly that he was amazing and then did nothing with it. That's the only job I've seen him ever seen posted on his Instagram.
Thank you, Teabag and Therapist. Thank you very much.
Yes. Yeah, I really do appreciate that. Oh, yeah, that's boredom. There it is. Yep.
I'm putting the link in the chat right now. There you go.
Very good.
And he shared it in Rumble, so I'm sharing it the other places.
Apparently, it was, according to Brave AI, he produced it in 2018. Skill-based, non-violent...
The shittiest looking game I've ever seen my entire life.
Oh my god.
Let's have a look here.
He seems to have like adapted being a scientist as his entire personality.
God, this game is hideous. It's just painful to look at. Ugh.
Oh God.
I've
Look how
seen
ugly it
free
is.
games that are fucking better than this.
Yeah, this is
Christ.
awful. Wow. Okay. No wonder he abandoned it.
Oh, he used free stock music.
Oh, it has 2 user reviews. Oh
Oh my
no,
God.
3. It actually has 3 user reviews. And
This
it all.
dude, this
You need to bump those numbers up.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
here, let's give me a second. Let me put this on stream. We'll have a look at this and have a laugh
Oh my
together. Let's have a
God.
look.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
TBT says they
Oh,
deleted
no.
reviews. There were more. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right,
this
let me,
dude is
Yeah.
so crap at is as good as making game as he's good as making assassination attempts. A complete failure at both.
All right, so,
So,
the
but,
three
I mean-
the 3 reviews that were left up here. One from 2019, very smart game for big brain boys. That whom Steve liketh to watch Bong Bang Theorem, Botswana. Okay,
What?
I don't understand
That's a
that.
big-
But,
That's a Big Bang Theory reference.
oh, okay.
Oh my god.
Zimbabwe.
I don't know that show. Sorry.
You mean Rhodesia?
Bajingo.
Oh Jesus, I hate that show so much.
I don't like sitcoms in general. I don't like slop TV.
That 70s show, that was good stuff.
I saw a little of that, but again,
Mila Kunis.
not really my cup of tea. So let's go back to the dragon and talking about stuff. Yeah, let's keep talking about this. Who has more things to say? Let's keep talking.
One thing that I was talking to with a buddy of mine who has a little bit of insight to that world. There's kind of passive security and then the hard security with the magnetometer. And because he was a guest of the hotel, is the current rumor and understanding. That's why he got through a lot of the lobby security. So he was already on the inside, apparently. So that's I've not verified that, but that's one of the things that I've been told by somebody who might have a little extra insight. I think to the bigger question as to why there's this failure of security, the Secret Service has been going through a rough patch for about at least 15 years, maybe even 20 years now. And they've had the hooker scandals down in Latin America. They've had these other shortcomings, both with Trump, and if I remember right, there were some other shortcomings with even Biden and Obama. The agency is just in need of an overhaul because they are so entrenched that you're going through the ranks is just a way to get a better paycheck, not because you're more competent. And that's because it's a government agency. It's almost like we need to go back to the Pinkertons. Granted, they didn't do a great job with Lincoln, but it's just an entrenched bureaucracy at this stage.
Yes, it's well known that
said-
a specific reject unit was given to Trump during in Butler, and at the time the new head basically was obsessed with replacing people in there with DEI hires. That's why there was that fat woman at the front who didn't look like she belonged there because she didn't.
I swear she made another appearance in this incident as well.
Yes,
I
I've
think
seen
it's just
posts of
somebody
that.
that looks like it, but it's like, wow, really? Can't
So,
you do
Dave-
fitness standards?
Dave found one of the deleted reviews. I'm going to read it for you. Decided to pull the trigger on this game. Gave it a shot. Not the most competent shooter. It feels rushed, and the strategic elements are poorly planned out. With a bit more time and thought, I think the lone developer may have achieved his aims. It was a good attempt, but better luck next time. I look forward to this developer's next project, whenever that will be, probably about 25 to life. That's pretty clever. That's a good review. It's a shame they took
Yes.
that down. That's good.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my God.
Perhaps they after some painkillers because you can tell in the picture in his takedown picture his shoulder is dislocated.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah. Serves him right.
Also, he posted a ton on Blue Sky under
Oh,
Yeah.
this
He did.
account called Cold Force, where guess who he interacted with? The raped man himself, Will Stansel. Somebody's gonna do something.
It do be like that, Mr. Stansel.
God.
That'd be hilarious. They should admit someone should doctor up a Blue Sky. I don't know what the fuck they call those things on Blue Sky.
He even had
Something-
an anime PFP from that, as far as I can tell, looks like it's from Higurashi. So yeah, murder was on his mind.
You know,
know,
what's next? He was in actual communication with us on Piker. That's the only way that this shit can actually surprise me. in any
Oh,
way.
that would be even funnier.
Oh, he regularly
would.
retweeted every mainstream Democratic politician and influencer you can think of.
Oh. So this dude wasn't an extremist at all. He was just the average Democrat.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
I'm sure he got money from the SPLC.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
He stopped wearing a hood.
No, he requested his, and they didn't have his
I believe a
size.
post on Blue Sky. I believe a post on Blue Sky is called a queef. Someone queefed out on Blue Sky.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I queefed that out on Blue Sky yesterday. Oh god, it sounds awful. I love it. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's terrible.
That's what I'm going to call him from now on. That's what.
Oh,
I'm gonna
That's
do.
hilarious.
Another-
I love it. You know, the one thing that I love more in this assassination attempt is just how little Trump, RFK, and those people just care about this, like, gunshot rings, and Trump doesn't even react until a dude comes like,
I mean,
dude,
to be fair,
Right,
Kennedys are really bad at keeping their head down on with gunfire. Rings.
Nothing ever bad happens to the Kennedys. I mean, he's so used to it by now that he was barely like, oh, gunshots, oh, okay. Then he gets whisked away by the Secret Service.
yeah.
Didn't he want to try to
And
reset
meanwhile-
after 30 minutes and they told him no, it'd take too long?
Yeah, he wanted to restart, and then they kind of talked to him and like, let's just reschedule. And he's like, all right.
Well,
Understandable.
Anything else to talk about this topic? Anything else come to mind?
Yeah. So I think from 3's description, the guy sounds like a prototypical DEI hire, right? Like he got all this praise heaped on him. He got all these like legs up, and he had all this
Yeah,
opportunity.
he had a
to do
bachelor's
shit.
and a master's degree, so
Yeah.
you know
And he just kind of
he went
pissed it
through the
away.
system.
Yep,
Yeah.
wastes it.
They waste it because he didn't really earn it. It was fucking given to him, you know. So another thing, I saw footage of them pulling JD Vance out, like, and they got him out way before they got Trump out. Like they pulled JD Vance out super quick, which is like, oh boy, I wonder who the more important person there is. You know, the successor to the throne. Like I saw footage, they like yanked him out of his chair. Secret Service agents like yanked him out of his chair. And I don't know if it's because he just had a better detail than Trump, but they kind of ushered Trump off later. Probably because they can't grab him by the shoulders and yank him out of his chair like they can with JD because he's a bit younger.
I thought they were pretty fast with Trump.
The
actually.
reason for that,
Yeah.
Dave, is very simple. They know that Trump can't be hit, so they just take the dude they're not sure with yet. So it's like, yeah, Trump, he can matrix dodge. Let's just get the guy who doesn't have blood armor.
He doesn't have stand power.
That's right.
And also,
There you go.
Trump is such a huge figure. If he gets killed, they can play the martyrdom angle. Also, Trump doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to be fast. You know, he's old.
Right.
And
He's
also,
old.
Vance and the people around the top of the administration, they might view Vance as the real leader of the party since Trump will be out soon and he's geriatric, basically. So maybe
Yeah.
Vance is just generally more important to whatever the MAGA higher-ups are. But also, I think the simple solution is just he's younger and he probably has snappier detail and was probably paying better attention. That's probably it.
He's also closer to the door.
That too.
Oh.
Usually the simple explanation is the correct one.
Yeah. Although I thought they did a surprise. I thought they did a fine job with Trump. To be honest, they were fast, man. He's just they got up there
From a couple of videos I
gone.
watched, yeah, everybody seemed to react pretty swiftly to it.
And I saw also that apparently Stephen Miller was there with his pregnant wife, and he protected her with his body. That was really nice to see.
Oh, good.
He's the least Jewish Jew ever.
It's gonna be saying Henry Kissinger things, man. If only I wasn't born a Jew.
If it was not for the unfortunate circumstance of my birth. Oh,
What a shame.
And one last thing I'd like to mention is the manifesto.
Yeah, talk about it.
Well, it wasn't very long.
I read the whole thing.
Exactly. So you know exactly what I'm about to say. It was all media narratives, and at the end of it, he says that, the administration put blood on my hands because they are a reflection of the people of the United States. And I'm like, no, not really. No. You think someone who wouldn't vote for him wouldn't believe that?
Yeah, and like 3 said, the entire manifesto is basically proof of what the Go Free structuring talks about, how the anti-white mean pathogens infect people's minds and can be triggered easily. Like, this person, a probably around bell curve intelligence person, clearly had his mind completely dominated and programmed by an entire lifetime of institutional messaging, and believed what he heard on the news, believed what his professor said, believed the system, believed the lies, and it shaped him into being this guy who was a failure because he was trying to do things he was not cut out to do, failing at it, which makes him feel robbed and cheated. And so what does he, and everything around him in his entire life tells him it's not his fault. It's the evil white man's fault. It's the system's fault. It's capitalism's fault. All these other things, right? And so obviously, like, you know how the left bangs on about what is it? What was the word? Scotastic terror. What's the word? Scotastic terrorism. Well, whatever that is that they say is actually going on, like, I just call that, mind war. It's just a propaganda war. It's propagandizing people. And when you have total control of media, schools, education, comics, and it's always this same messaging that people get, and then that anti-white, chaotic, terrorist mentality is reflected back at them, and they are praised for saying those things, it's easy to see how you get guys like this by the hundreds of thousands willing to martyr themselves, because not only does it make them feel like their life has worth, that they aren't getting anywhere else, they feel like that the entire system will praise them as the hero of America if he does it. And that's what the entire manifesto read like. It's sick.
Yeah.
Yes, chat. The schizoterrorism is a big problem.
I need to look up the word stochastic, because none of those words, none of those syllables mean anything to me in Latin. Let me look this up. I'm going to read about the etymology of stochastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and this ties into the Gallianist mentality of propaganda of the deed. So
it's from the Greek stokos, which is to aim or to guess. Okay. Stochastic refers to a modeling approach, while randomness describes a phenomena.
So they were winging it.
Describes phenomena, plural. These terms are often used interchangeably. In probability theory, the formal concept of a stochastic process means a random process, one that is not expected. So stochastic terrorism means lone wolf terrorism that happens because of system pressure, I would imagine. You can't really predict it, but you know it's going to happen because of all of these radicals flying around, I guess. I guess that's what that means. I guess that's why it's used that way.
That basically it's very much winged, and it could mean that. It could mean that it's just not very well thought through, essentially.
Maybe. But again, you remember the last 10 or 15 years of media talking about how, all this leading to white supremacy and all these terror attacks by these evil white guys that want to kill Jews and kill immigrants and shit. Okay, well, by comparison to the anti-white, anti-Christian pile of crimes, our side of wackadoos that do this is like 1 to 200 in ratio. Like the kind of person on quote unquote our side that does this kind of terrorism is absolutely dwarfed by the massive amount of quote unquote their side of people who do this kind of shit. It's ridiculous.
Don't forget their libtard math is like half of it is like 9/11, and then the other half is January 6th.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and move on. Before we move on, I do want to check paid chats because I do have one that came in at the end of last week from Dissident Night that I need to read. So let me refresh all the sites and make sure I'm not missing anyone. Okay, let me refresh that one. Nothing new there. And of course, that one logged me out already. Okay, nothing on Cash App. And last one to check is PayPal. All right. From Dissident Night last week on Subscribestar, he sent $25. Thank you. That's a great donation. Great tip. Thank you so much last week. Dissident Night says, purely on the back of getting all my references, yes. He made some very clever, excellent references in chat last week that were pretty obscure, and I got all of them. And so he was celebrating me getting his references with his dollars. Thank you so much, Dissident Night. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. So that's all of the paid chats. So we will drop that and move back to the dragon topics. We started with the friendly federal assassin. Let's see. Fat Dave, you're the party leader. What is next, sir?
Let's go ahead and give Trym his shot.
All right, Trym, which one do you want?
Well, you see, as I am a Norwegian and I'm connected to a bloated, disgusting, fetid thing called the EU, I love hearing about their self-sabotages.
Okay, let's go with that then. We are going to read from Gatestone Institute on International Policy. So this is a very long, dry article. We won't be looking at all of it, but I do want to hit some points in this. Europe's energy suicide. The EU admits the world runs on fossil fuels while deliberately destroying its own. Here's the points for this. Within Europe itself, institutions pursue the systematic dismantling of their own domestic fossil fuel capacities. The result is not environmental salvation. It is an engineered dependency that can only delight oil producers such as Russia. Households face increasingly high energy bills that contribute to widespread energy poverty. Official EU figures show that roughly 9 to 10% of the entire population, more than 40 million people, struggle each year to heat their homes. The only cases in which the masses have escaped from grinding poverty in recorded history are where they have had free market or capitalistic enterprise and free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worse off or worst off, it's the kinds of societies which depart from that. That's a quote from Milton Friedman. Fossil fuels are not opposed merely for emissions. They are opposed because they underwrite prosperity, independence, and power, attributes that the cultural Marxist worldview seeks to delegitimize. An affluent, independent public is harder to control. Politically, if you're poor and dependent, there's the possibility you will keep re-electing incompetent leaders in hopes that they will rescue you and things will get better. It is in the interest to keep you it is in their interest just to keep dangling the promise of rescue in front of you. Europe does not lack energy resources. It lacks political will to use them. Britain's North Sea oil and gas resources alone are a treasure trove waiting to happen. Until European policymakers confront the ideological roots of this self-defeating strategy and prioritize the security and prosperity of their own citizenry over utopian visions, the continent will continue to slide towards deindustrialization, mass hardship, and strategic irrelevance. I'm sharing the link to this article. It is very long. It is worth the read. I read most of it today. And let's see. That is not the true link. I accidentally didn't share the true link. Give me just a moment here. Okay. I have it archived like I do everything. Here is the unaltered link. There it is. Putting it in all the chat now. So if you want to read through all of that and read the details, you go right ahead. Warning, it's very dry and quite a long read, but you can read through it there. So let's go ahead and move from that over to the Blue Dragon. The Blue with us tonight works in technology, like many Blues do in the Great Dragon Empire. He thinks the leaders of European countries are, to quote Enoch Powell, heaping up their own funeral pyre. They are sabotaging their energy production. With crippled energy availability, all industries will inevitably decay, and businesses that have the liquidity to do so will move away. it will cause the economy to stagnate or worse. His question for us tonight is this, and it comes to you first, Trym. Do you think the future of European countries is to become vassals to other powers, or do you think that they will rally and reclaim identity and sovereignty?
That's a very funny question, yeah, because the current leadership of most European countries are of the globalist variety, and their entire desire is to become a vassal to this gray blob that is currently festering in Brussels. However, you have movements in many countries that are becoming more and more popular as time passes, but they're incredibly disorganized or don't have the best kind of leadership, let's put it like that are interested in just ripping themselves out of this union. The problem is that these guys pay a lot of money to keep the others inside it. For example, take my entire country. We're not part of the EU. We're part of the EES, which is sort of like the economic zone deal with it. And it is just absolutely disgusting because through this, they still keep paying my politicians under the table, in which then makes the politicians do just one-sided agreements. Like we take and sell all of our energy to EU and then buy it back from Sweden, a la the EU. So it's just this self-defeating spiral to make us all forced to join the EU, and then for whatever the EU is ruled by to, and I'm not saying anything here, whatever rules the EU to just submit to something else. I want the countries to rally. There's a lot of them who has the potential to do so. Even Norway has it, but we're too passive. And that's a problem with the Europeans. The disgusting passivity of it all.
All right. Anything else you have to say, or shall we move to someone else?
Yeah, I do believe that it is the elite's dream to be the vassals of something else. However, proper people of Europe, the ones who are still of the good old stock, they want the identity and sovereignty to remain to what we were. And if I get what I want, the EU will collapse within the next 20 years. If not, then it's going to be a bit of a interesting future for Europe as a whole, I think.
All right. Let's hear from someone else then. Somebody else take this one. What do you think?
I'll jump in. I think there's a lot of it with the EU, the grand EU project. And sometimes you see these interesting individuals posting on Twitter about, oh yeah, grand European unity and sovereignty. I think the goal of this current crisis is to crush the independent sovereignty of these nations. And once that's achieved, then suddenly there's this great new trade deal that the EU's brokered with maybe Russia or one of the Arab OPEC countries, or even the United States, to solidify and crush these regional powers, whether it's Hungary or even France. And it's partly driven by, at least in my theory on this, if you can create more dependence, like we have here in the United States with the NAFTA deal, where you're starting to export more and more of your own internal resources, it's easier to sell people on grand control. The flaw in this is the EU does not take into account human nature. And human nature is that wild card where it could have this grand plan and then it's just like, nope, gone. We're going to do something else because you've pissed off everyone and now it's time to move on. Now, that's the optimistic outcome. unfortunately, and Trym and I have talked about this quite a bit, there's just this slow cultural and moral grind amongst most European citizens where they don't feel like they have any really distinct affectation of how their countries are run. So they just don't care. And
Exactly.
that
It's
malaise is going to be the
that comes
worst
out
part
of it.
Yeah. So I
What did
think
you say, Trym? I couldn't understand you because the audio was at the same time. What did you say?
What I said, it's that's a reason for the disgusting passivity we see around that Bleach.
Oh,
Bleach
okay.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just couldn't hear because it was the audio happened at the same time. Go ahead. Back
Right.
to you, Bleach.
and so do they want to become vassals to other powers? No, they have this grand dream of a unified EU. But to do that, they have to outsource any of their independence as far as energy and production. And I wouldn't even be surprised if some of this is playing a large part in why they welcome the invaders so much, because it's an easier population to control and manipulate.
It definitely seems like they don't have a loyalty to the people themselves. They only seem to have a loyalty to their vision. And it's bizarre to me to think that they don't realize, like, I wonder how someone can look at the data that we see, and presumably if you work in a position of, like, EU or national leadership in a European country, how can you not know and see the things that we know and see and still think more immigration is good, worse economy is good, the end result will be what will be good? Like, it may be just because I'm a conspiratorial minded person, but I feel like all of these people that push for all of this crap that's bad for us, I feel like they have to hate us because
They do.
it just
They do.
it seems like they can't look at the data and look at what's happening in their countries and look at their crumbling economies and everything just going to absolute shit as fast as they can make it happen and think, if we do this more, it will eventually be paradise. It will eventually be utopia. I don't think they think that. I think that whatever goes on in their spiteful minds, they want to punish all of us for a wrong think and are willing to go down with the ship and their ideas as long as we all suffer and are punished for it.
Mhm.
That's what I believe. Do you think I'm wrong? Or do you think...
Oh, no, I don't think you're wrong at all, because remember, the EU is headed mostly by German and French, and they have managed, through the browbeating of their elites, to take upon the guilt of what the Germans did, quote unquote, and also now spread it around as, oh no, we did colonialism. Essentially, it is just white guilt taken to an extreme, and it's just the worst of the worst. There's not a single human being who supports the EU who can be trusted. Every person I meet who I even have a semblance of respect for dislikes what the EU are doing because they will see what it is. Unfortunately, everyone who gets into power in Norway, even the people who are anti-EU, will get so much money or so much pressure that they will buckle eventually. In many ways, I do believe that they're so ingrained with China. I suspect that there might be some co-working there. So I have a lot of frustrations going on.
Yeah, I hear you. Fat Dave, 312, what do you think?
So I think the WEF has a lot to do with it, and that fucking the 30-year plan, or the 2030 plan and all that shit. I don't trust any of those unelected bureaucrats that run the EU or run any of that stuff, and I don't think anybody does really, which is why they're not elected, because they would probably never get elected if they ran. They're just installed, and they have no problems taking the plebs down a road of serfdom.
Yeah, 1,000 of them. 1,000 of them, and they don't represent anybody.
Yeah.
They represent only themselves.
And this is a great example of progressivism. You know, it's that slow grind to a revolutionary utopia. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had ties to the Fabian Society as well over in the UK.
Oh, I mean, I ran Empire of Lies with Newsfist. It's 100% Fabian, like through and through, all of it.
Yeah, because the Fabians showed that that's the way to make it work. This is the most likely way to get it to actually happen. Is to submit it piece by piece. Additionally, it's funny that you use the exact words to become vassals to other powers, when Sargon was suggesting that instead of treating European allies as friends, we should be treating them as vassals to command and to sort of beat around with a stick.
I understand that line of thinking, but I don't like it. I don't.
No American does.
It's like I already don't like how. You guys all know that I'm big into World War I and II revisionist history, and especially big into revisionist history about the war between the states in the 1800s. And I think that the dismantling of the British Empire, the way that NATO and things have sort of stagnated the defense and sovereignty of European states the last 80 years, I think that has been a net negative for all of us involved. Americans, Europeans, British, etc. I don't like the way that the U.S. hegemony has been used. I'm not opposed to there being a military hegemony, but I'm opposed to how it uses mind cancer and usury to weaken us and infect us with these horrible mental parasites that basically cucks the entire civilization that we share. I see all of that as negative. And I feel like the U.S. empire, in a way, has already made vassals of all the other white countries, and it's to all of our detriment. Because those of us in America aren't living better than we were 40 or 50 years ago. People in Europe are certainly not living better than they were 50 years ago. And we certainly aren't safer from outside threats than we were 50 years ago, because they've imported most of those threats to all of our cities. So it's like we have all lost because of this. And I don't think that, I really don't like the back and forth between Euro bros and Ameribros, taking the piss at each other and genuinely hating each other, because it just makes me sad. Like, the same evil cunts, the same anti-white oligarchs and warmongers and users and central bank motherfuckers, these same people control Paris and London and New York City. And these evil people have been treating us like shit and ruining our civilization in every way they can from the seat of power in every country of ours for like 50 or 60 years. And we are all suffering because of it. And I feel like I don't like this constant state of, well, oh, look at this big American war machine dick. We've got to look out for the Europeans. And like, a lot of Ameribros think that way, but it's that very thinking that was instilled into the boomers as brain rot and led us to where we are today. And I want people to be independent and defend for their ethnic rights, their ethnic grounds, their ethnic identities. And I want us all who are of European descent to recognize we share that germ together, and we need to work out our problems without war and keep the foreigners out. I don't think we need a mommy or a daddy state that comes in and beats everybody to keep everybody in line. I don't feel like that's in tune with our biospirit and how we all want to live, whether you're European or American. I just don't think that jibes with us. So as fun as it might be to think about this, and like Alex in the chat said, what if the EU was based? Like, it's fun to imagine some kind of, European super state where we all get to live in white fashy utopia. But I just don't think that's a realistic goal with how the world works and how Europeans are. Like, the best that I think we can hope for is independent ethnic European sovereignty with an acknowledgement that we all share a civilizational spark and we shouldn't beat each other's throats. We should band together against the rest of the world and keep them out. Like, that's the best I think we can realistically hope for.
Yeah, and I can even see why they would think like this. The older, say, like the Gen Xers in particular, like Sargon, because throughout the second half of the 20th century, the U.S. empire, when it was the main globalist faction, didn't treat the rebuild didn't treat Europe very well in the rebuild. We used it to leverage them for debt. We built the gold standard off of the winnings from World War II. We made them buy our slop and sell it to their people. And then we fucked around with the UK nuclear program in the 50s.
Yeah.
We were not a good ally to them for a long time. And, you know, I can understand that. I mean, we didn't have any control over that. Not really. At least the boomers.
Yeah, it was again.
The boomers
It's like
just let it
it's
happen.
these international oligarchs and these corrupt people that we don't vote for who control so much of our countries. It's these people getting their way. It's not like, you know, a bunch of corn-fed farm boys were like, "Hey, let's fuck over Europe and make them a vassal state with the central banking." It's like regular Americans didn't want that. We didn't even know that was happening when it was being put into place.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
And by the time the 90s came around and the controllers were starting to switch to Davos, we were just starting to wake up to it in a few small pockets. And I mean, the zeitgeist from the average American by then was that like, yeah, Europeans are just our buds, bro. I mean, there's no reason to not like them. They're our allies in NATO. They help, you know, they stood with us against the Soviet Union. We had the whole Cold War happen, come and gone, and then the permanent president started to seep in, and at this point, like hating Europeans is just a psyop, because they are so similar to us when we have, you know, similar values and ideas. I mean, we know many of them in our Discord circles that are just like us. The problem is like the Normans that have been poisoned
Germans and Swedes and Belgians and Romanians. Like we know a lot of Europeans that are in our circles. They think like us. They talk like us. They want the same things we want. They want similar economic and self-defense freedoms that we have. Like we are very, very similar. And it's the tiny ethnic differences that set us apart. And we shouldn't beat each other's throats and go to war over that. Like we share a single thread of civilization for like the last 1,000 years. And no one else on earth has that. And they all are jealous of us. They all hate us and they want to steal from us. And we need to band together, and we need real elites and strong leaders that are willing to do, you know, like the Rupert Lowe thing, right? We need 1,000 Rupert Lowes that are younger, fitter, and wealthier to say those things and to actually follow through. Like we need that to happen in all of our countries. And we need to be ready for when that happens. Raise your kids to be ready for that. When the Zoomer Adolf Rizzler finally takes power, there needs to be as many of us ready to serve as possible.
Especially we need good trade relations with them, right? We need to work together, and we need to provide each other sweetheart deals.
Yeah,
that's the only way to stand on the world stage.
The one problem, and Trym and I have talked about this ad nauseum, is you get a few on the right, vaguely, Euro bros that just want nothing to do but shit on Americans and Americanism. And it's like it drives me up the wall, and it's that irreparable wedge that's keeping us apart is this haughty, useless arrogance.
Yeah.
And I mean there are a few people that I won't say that on YouTube. But it's like, yeah, Bruce Knuckles would probably be at the end of the day out of just like, yeah, hey, stop. Yeah, I want to support you and your people. Do the same for me. Don't shit on me. And I just kind of lose patience with that, because they're really nothing but playing into the European elite EU mindset that somehow, because they have this, you know, the history, it's like, but it's Americans' history too. We just don't talk about it in the same way. We gild it. We talk about it as this great thing. And
but that's for us. Right?
But
Americanism is for us, and we've never tried to imply, at least nobody who's outside of the elites has ever implied that Europe should be American.
Right.
In fact,
I
the
want
only thing
French
they've
to
ever
be French and Germans to be Germans. I don't want to Americanize everything, just like I don't want my country to be G-ified or whatever. Like I don't want
America can be America.
In fact, our leftists,
Only America can be America.
In fact, our leftists in the 2000s were saying that we needed to be more like Europe. Like, so this idea of that, like, there needs to be de-Yankification is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah.
we're too much like Europe.
Be more what you used to be, America, because you are genuinely better than us. Even with all your current flaws, you're still better than Europe, especially the EU, because that stuff
Yes,
is
but
just a pale imitation.
yes, I pray for
but-
the collapse of the EU every day.
Yeah, and
Oh, thank you,
just
dude.
like I want the collapse of the evil systems in play in my government, I also want the collapse of the evil systems controlling Europe. That doesn't mean that I want European countries to be destroyed and the people to suffer. I don't.
No, I want
the
them to be
opposite of that.
free.
Yeah, I want them to be
Mhm.
free of all this disgusting tyranny bullshit that fucks up all of our lives.
Here's the thing. Because me and Bleach, as he said, we've talked a lot about this, and the whole EU bros that go around thinking themselves so much better, oh, I'm so much better than this, but America is always wrong and faulty. It's the wrong mindset. And it all is born out of a deluded jealousy of America. Pure and simple. Instead of just looking at your own country and just being satisfied with what you have and proud of what you made, they instead look to the other country across the pond, which has more than you. They do. And they are just jealous. So instead of just, okay, we can take inspiration from America, take a little bit back since we gave something to them, take some inspiration, they instead just hunker down and believe everything that happened in America is wrong. Here's a little fun fact. The best of Europe went to America. It is the other way around. We should take some hints of what you've done, at least in the past. Not any we've taken from you currently in the modern era, but it's from the wrong point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. That would have been true at the very least at the time. Things have diluted a little bit since then, but still, well, the brain drain is a problem. So I guess maybe that sort of balance might still exist.
I don't know if I would fully agree with what Trym said. There is some wisdom to it, but remember, grass is always greener type of shit, right? Like I look at much of rural European life today because I look into these things and I talk to people who live in various places in Europe. There are wonderful historical ethnic touchstones that many places in Europe have that we as Americans have never had because we don't have that history yet. There are many ways of being and thinking about life, diet, place in the great order of things that Europeans share that Americans just lack because we are such a new young country made by pioneers and hotheads and warriors and rejects and shit like that. We have a much different ethnogenesis than all of the European countries. And that's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying just try not to let your American chauvinism, your own ethnic chauvinism get in the way of reality and wisdom. I guess that's a good way to say that because I know that there are differences between Americans and the whites of Europe. We are not the same creature, but we are very similar. And I don't think that we should say, well, Europeans need to learn from us. No, we need to learn from each other and move past this mess because it's not Europeans doing this to us. It's internationalists and Jews and Chinese and Indians and people like that. These are the people that have leaked their tendrils into control. And of course, the worst of the worst are the anti-white people who are just jealous, selfish, evil, manipulative shitbags that just want to self-aggrandize and care nothing about country or tradition or anything. And they're just completely racial, civilizational sellouts that do whatever these anti-white mongrels of other races want them to do for cash or for pats on the head. These are our enemies, and we should not be enemies with each other. We should respect the ethnic differences we have and learn from each other and not dick measure and say we're better than you. I really don't want a repeat of another world war because of this type of ethnic back and forth between European peoples. It's just it would not end well for us. I never want to see that again.
Yeah. Cooperate across the pond and then just make sure we're safe from the outsiders from the other places.
Indeed, Ardent said it in chat. No more brother wars. Yeah, definitely. I never want that again. Not for any of us. The only war that we need is a war of mass deportation to get everybody out.
Oh God, yes, I dream about that every day.
We're going to war, lads. Here's your ice helmet. Let's go.
Oh man. You know, the best part about going to the boat this trip is learning just how base the entire kitchen is. And the ones who aren't actively just deport them all, big or small, are just like, I would like to stop having so much shit taken in. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, even normal people now are starting to realize how fucked everything is. Like even where I live in the middle of nowhere, where most people just don't give a crap about anything that doesn't happen within a 5-mile radius. Like even they have gleaned from news and media and other internet sources that things are royally fucked and they've been lied to about everything. Even like the most regular normie, like bell curve as you can be for this area person realizes the things that we've been talking about for years now. So that's why I think that something might actually happen, like in my lifetime. We might actually see change. So we'll just have to see. All right. Well, I guess we've talked about this long enough. Let's go ahead and move on. That was a fun conversation. So let's bring the dragons back up. I just checked all the sites, and I don't think we have any paid chats that came through. I will check once again real quick, and then we will move on. Refresh there. And of course, I was logged out of Entropy because it just does that every week. I don't know why, but at least it works. At least it works. Refresh. All right. Well, hold on a second. It's not taking me to the right place. Man, I love Entropy. I just wished it worked better. All right. Okay. Yeah. And nothing on Entropy. All right. Very good. So let's move on. Let's go back to the dragons. Huzzah. All right. That was the Blue Dragon, EU self-sabotage. So we have 3 left. We have the Southern Poverty Fraud Center, the Asheville Outcome, and First Amendment on life support. Fat Dave, you are the party leader. What will be next, sir?
All right, Bleach. I'm gonna let you make your choice now.
Oh, well, then I'm going to have to go with First Amendment on life support.
All right. First Amendment on life support. I can close that. We don't need that tab anymore. All right. Now, this is something that many of us who are, let's just say, full-time noticers have been talking about in America for years. A Florida student arrested for a joke about Netanyahu as, quote, racist chat probe continues. An FIU University student was arrested on Thursday for allegedly requesting in a WhatsApp chat in what she later called a dumb joke that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu drop a bomb on her campus building before the capstone project presentation. According to the FIU police report obtained by the New York Times, Gabriela Saldana made a threat to kill or do bodily harm to individuals regarding a scheduled event planned for Friday. The 23-year-old student, who admitted to sending messages to the 200-person group chat, was charged with written threats to kill or do harm with prejudice. Now, I know what you're thinking. This was just a joke taken out of context, right? You are 100% correct because I saw it. A screenshot of the message circulating on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, God, they always say that, states that Netanyahu, if you can hear me, drop some bonbons for us capstone students in Ocean Bank Convention Center. This is so obviously a joke because obviously, finals are coming up, big presentations are coming up, students are stressed as fuck. Nobody likes Netanyahu. No, I'm sorry. I didn't use his Christian name. Nobody likes Satan Yahoo. Nobody likes what the Zog machine is doing. Left and right and center. Most of us hate it. And so this is so obviously just a regular joke somebody would make in any chat of any variety. White or non-white, Republican or Democrat. Whoever you are listening to this, you have probably seen a joke made like this in any chat you were in the last couple weeks, in the last couple months. You have seen this joke. Like, I've seen this joke in Discords I'm in. I've seen this joke in Telegram. boy, I wish so and so would. I wish the Israelis would send one of their special walkie-talkies to that guy. Stuff like that. Like, we see that everywhere. That's so obviously a joke when phrased this way. But this woman was arrested and now faces 15 to 20 years in prison because of that. An FIU police officer claimed in bond court that Saldana wrote the following: "There is going to be a bomb in the Ocean Bank Convention Center, and it's going to be Jonathan's fault." Now, this is less easily misconstrued. I mean, this is more easily misconstrued because this requires context. This could be in response to someone giving a terrible presentation. Maybe after the first joke about Satan Yahoo dropping bonbons, somebody talked about whoever this guy Jonathan was, and this person said, "Yeah, there's definitely going to be a bomb at the convention center this week, and it's going to be your fault." Like, teasing or saying Jonathan is going to be the cause of strife. Jonathan's presentation is going to bomb so hard it'll be a literal bomb. This kind of thing. But when you give an out-of-context comment to the police, they are required to investigate it. So perhaps this is all Jonathan's fault for being a butthurt faggot. That is totally possible. But regardless, it still stands that she's getting done for anti-Semitism with the anti-Semitism hate speech laws that the wall kisser himself, Governor DeSantis, put into place after going to Israel to lick the Zog boots over there. So we're going to talk about it. Let's go to the Red Dragon, which is this ferocious monster here. The red with us tonight is a magma worm, a red dragon with a deep connection to the nature magic and to the magic of to the nature magic of earth and fire. He once served as a war leader for an arm of the Dragon Empire's military, but now enjoys a lofty position of administration. He visits us tonight to ask us about censorship and hate speech laws through the lens of ethnic identity. And this comes to you first. Wait, who chose this one?
That would be me.
Bleach. Bleach chose this one. Bleach, if you had the power and numbers to enforce the same kind of censorship and punishments for anti-white rhetoric, would you? Justify your answers ethically and logically.
Oh, so I will admit I am split very, very heavily. Practically, no, I would not. I don't like to amp up the situation. It's part of it is just, me being a Christian. And it's like, yeah, I just do not see the impetus to inflict harm on others when you can just say, hey, maybe don't say that. That's a implication that you may not understand the greater context of. Go ahead, improve your life, do something worthwhile. Don't talk about this sort of thing anymore. The vindictive, petty little man of me would absolutely enforce it with an iron fist and do mass deportations, maybe from the borders, maybe from this realm of reality. Just because they would do it to us, kind of a mentality. And that's why I wouldn't, because I don't want to give leverage and ammunition to those that will openly hate me. But yeah, if the angry little man part of me, if I went full atheist again, it'd be like, yeah, no, screw it. I am going to punish these people. I'm going to censor these people. I'm going to remove these people from a polite society. But to have a polite society, you have to be able to go and say offensive things, stupid things, and not have your entire life ruined. Because that's what they've done here. They've said, oh, well, you've said this one offensive thing, so your life is ruined. You're an apostate from civilized society. Because they've ruined this young woman's life entirely. There's no coming back from this. She's never going to have a better life after this. And I would want that for my enemies, but I'm big enough to know that's not how you achieve final victory. This is not how you get the society
or a final solution.
Well, yes. Sorry, I was a little gassy, so I minced my words. So
more like you mince your meat.
Yeah, a little bit of a grinder in there. Yeah. Yeah, I just I can't.
This is pretty good
give the
from
good partner.
Vingtor here. Vingtor over in Rumble says they don't control the world. Say a joke and your life is ruined. Not helping the allegations.
Exactly. So,
They don't care
I'll
about
open it up.
optics. They just care about money and power.
Yeah.
All right, well, who else has something to say on this? I'd like to hear the opinions from everyone here because I have a loaded response for this, but I'll say fine till the end.
I mean, my
I can
position
go
is the
next.
classical liberal one,
First.
and it would be like, no, I wouldn't enforce the same sort of censorship and punishments. Honestly, it's just not fun. I hate living in that world. I hate living in the world where I can't say things or when certain words immediately trigger a no visibility. It's just no fun. It's lame.
Right.
I want to live in a world where I feel like I can do whatever I want, go from place to place, say what I want, express what I believe, and then not have to worry about there being consequences about it as I go about my business and constantly being distracted by, oh man, what kind of code words do I need to use to actually say what I mean? Oh no, it's so exhausting. It wastes so much time and energy. I hate it. I hate all of it. I wouldn't even impose it on my enemies because I truly believe that sunshine is the best disinfectant. And furthermore, I would if I was living in a world where I had control over that, I would also have control over who votes. So it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't be appealing to the bell ends. I wouldn't be appealing to the standard deviation of people who are midwits.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a society where only the intelligent and productive have any effect on anything. I mean, after all, even now, unless you literally throw everything at someone like Cole Allen, you get nothing, and they don't matter. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about censoring people, especially not retards. People will know they're retards.
I'm glad that you said all of that because that will help my what I have to say later. Thank you. But let's move to someone else. Trym, Dave,
You wanna go first,
I'm with
Dave?
3 on that one. Yeah, I'll jump in. So I'm with 3 with 3 on that one. Like, I would like to move back to a time where where when somebody says, "Oh yeah, that's because you're white," and someone's like, "Oh yeah, that's because you're that's because you're a dumb cracker," and someone can crack back and say, "Well, yeah, it's because you're a dumb, N-word," but without having to worry about all the pearl clutchers or getting canceled or anything like that. Cancel culture is cancer, and it's been the worst thing that's ever happened in terms of like allowing speech. And I personally don't think the solution to cancer is more cancer.
Yeah.
Like sunshine truly is the best disinfectant, and good ideas are supposed to win. But yeah, and it's completely destroyed comedy. Like TBT says, it's been terrible for our society to have censorship on one side. And I don't know if bringing back a draconian style censorship on both sides would fix it. What I would do if I had the power to, maybe, if I had the power to it, is I would let people, when someone starts getting pearl clutchy about, like, oh, you can't say that because they're oppressed, just say, shut up, faggot, and move on with your life. Like, I would like to bring back that time when the guys in my office talking about how great socialism is going to be, but I could just say, you guys are a bunch of dildos, and without HR having to get involved. But so it's been a lot of like HR culture and all that shit. It's really made our lives worse. And I don't want to add any more fuel to that fire on either side.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Trym, let's move to you.
Be a bit different here because while my ideal is similar to the rest of the panel here, I have a bit of a different idea. I do believe that the left or their ilk will always use this power until it's used to back on them, to make them realize, oh, wait, ow, this hurts. They need to feel it themselves. However, instead of just using in the same draconian, retarded way, we instead use it to enforce our own proper values. So when somebody comes and pearl clutches and demands someone to be canceled, they get canceled. They get the hammer. You pull an Uno reverse card, and they get their lives ruined. Everyone who comes up trying to start shit, trying to ruin somebody's life because they said a funny joke, they're the ones getting crushed. And with enough examples and with a standard set, we will finally be back to the good old days.
Okay.
Because that is how you get to it now. The only way these idiots are going to learn is if you use the hammer. They don't learn otherwise. So then again, I might be a little bit of a cynic today.
No, I hear you. I think we all know there's truth to what you say. Now, I'm glad 3 of 12 said what he said. And I'm very glad to hear what all of you have to say, because it very much resonates with the good, high-minded Anglo sensibilities I have. But that isn't the civilization we live in anymore. I would like to think sunlight is the best disinfectant. I would like to think that the best ideas will rise to the top, and the people who are kind and nice and intelligent will be the ones to take power. But I don't think that's true anymore. I think that believing in those things, despite how true they are to my heart and soul, I don't think that it's wise tactically, and I don't think that it will render the results that I want. To directly answer the dragon's question, I phrased it this way for a reason. If I had the power and numbers to enforce the same kind of censorship and punishments for anti-white rhetoric, would I? Not exactly is the answer. I wouldn't do the way that the anti-whites do. I would use my power, my connections, my network, my rulership, if I was Führer, to make sure all of the things that we know are cancerous to us are banned. There is no more Marxism. There's no more anti-white cancer. There's no more sexualization of children. There's no more poisoning the well of belief and family values and tradition. We know what this stuff looks like. We know how it's said. We know the methods that the anti-white scumbags, Jewish or otherwise, use to inject these hostile ideas into our minds. We have documents of it going back 100 years now. We see how all of this, we see how the sausage is made. That is the stuff that I think we would go after and have success with. Not this, oh, did you make a joke? You have to lose your career. None of that. I think what I think would be best to do is to use power responsibly to neutralize the mind cancer itself at the source, and anyone who pushes the mind cancer isn't killed, isn't put in prison for life, but is held to account publicly and notified this is anti-white mind cancer, and cite sources as to why it is mind cancer, and say, this was not a joke. We know it wasn't a joke. You're not allowed to say this anymore. You're on notice. If you do it again, you are expelled from the country forever. You're gone. Total excommunication. Get rid of them. And now I don't think that is unreasonable given what we have seen has happened to us in the last 80 years. I think that if we are able to have control of our countries again, we need to do this. We need to have an ethnic, racial, religious, civilizational hard line about the things that make us who we are, and say, if you don't believe this and you actively work counter to the host population by putting this mind cancer out in the ether, or even worse, trying to directly influence young people to think this way, you are an enemy of us, our civilization, our people, our well-being, and you have to go. You're gone. Get out of here. And I think that if we have enough people willing to see that through, I think it would intimidate these, because remember, these people are not warriors. The people who push this mind cancer, the Marxists, the Jews, all these awful people, the anti-white people, they are weak. They will buckle in the face of real power and real masculinity, and they will do as they're told. That's what it will take. And I think that if we get to that point and are able to do that, this problem can be brushed aside and completely eliminated. And I don't think that we'll have to live in some kind of fascist censorship dystopia to make that happen. It will just take enough good men of good moral fiber with the fucking balls to see it done and punish enough of these anti-white scumbags till the problem goes away. Like using a vaccine to lessen a dangerous disease. If you lessen the dangerous disease enough, it dwindles to the point of being not a problem anymore. You still keep the vaccine around just in case, but you don't have to have this censorship dystopia forever. But you do have to have strong men with power knocking heads, ejecting people from the country who are obvious bad actors, and punishing people who repeat this nasty rhetoric, knowing what it does. We already know what it does. We have a history of it. We've been documenting it for decades. We know what the bad stuff is. We need to punish people who say it and believe in it. And then I think that would fix the problem, and we wouldn't have to have all of these just like the reverse of censorship, hate speech laws on the books forever. I don't think we would have to have that. What do you guys think about that? How do you feel with all I just said?
Genuinely agree with it. In many ways, it's kind of what I suggested too, but way more direct. And honestly, it's gonna be more effective too.
I'm fully on board, but I'm staying with my utopian mass deportation mindset, just because it's fun.
Yeah, I agree with Stumbling in chat. This is why I don't think it will take generations to put things right. I think that we are already at the precipice of total civilizational annihilation, and young people today see it because they live in it. And I know we make the joke and we use the funny meme Adolf Rizzler, but like I really do think that we will see people younger than I am come to positions of power in my lifetime and be of an entirely different ethical and moral mindset than we are because of how they grew up and what they face. They are staring into oblivion and their toes are already dangling off the edge of the precipice. They see it. They know something is coming. And if they don't do anything, all will be lost and the only future will be hell. There are millions of young people who see and think this way already. And I think that's why in our lifetimes, we will see massive change. We will either die as an entire civilization and a race, or we will have a resurgence and our countries will be something again. I agree with you, Stumbling. All right.
If you do talk with some of the guys that I know that are in their 20s, starting families, and they're seeing this and they're recoiling from what they're seeing and being pushed by a boomer logic, and it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
And again, like I talk about several times, like the numbers of homeschooling, private schools, private communities, it keeps going up. Like there are millions of white people now that they know that public schools and many private schools are just total mind cancer. They're not sending their kids there. There are many white people who realize I can't let my kids be around nons. These foreigners are going to molest my kids, steal or rape my children. We have to have our own fortified, protected communities. Like these communities are growing, not just in America, but in many countries, whether they can openly say so or not. So I do think that change is coming. And I think that we will live to see massive change one way or the other. All right, well, that's all I have to say on that. I'm not going to bloviate anymore. I'm done. Do any of you have any closing thoughts or things you'd like to say about all this?
Can I vote for you for next election?
No, voting is fake and gay. I don't want to be voted into power unless it's like the NSDAP type of voting in the political party. That's different.
Wait, you heard her, guys. She doesn't want to be voted in. Vote her in now. Do it now.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Oh no! Did I accidentally do reverse psychology? Oh no! Oh, no.
Yes, the people who don't want to do it are the best to do it.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, service guarantee citizenship. Get
No.
the federation.
In short, Weimar problems require Weimar solutions, is what I'm saying. And I think that whether we want it to or not, some version of that pushback will happen. And I just hope and pray that enough people with good sense and good morals will be at the helm of whatever that is. And it won't be just something horribly nasty that destroys everything. I hope it will be positive and good for us and not something terrible. But you know, there it is. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. Still no paid chats that I can see anywhere. So let's go ahead and move on. I will refresh again because I don't want to leave anybody out in the cold that has something timely and relevant to say. But okay, after refreshing, still don't see anything. So back to dragons. We have the green dragon left with the Asheville outcome, and we have the white dragon left with Southern Poverty Fraud Center. Dave, you're the leader. What'll be next, sir?
I'm going to pick the Fraud Center one.
Oh boy, this one's fun. Okay. We'll have a lot to say about this, I'm sure. Oops, that's still the red dragon. There we go. Southern Poverty Law Center faces blowback from hate map targets after Department of Justice fraud indictment. Family Research Council, PragerU, Moms for Liberty, and others say the charges confirm years of ideological targeting. The DOJ's fraud indictment of the SPLC is prompting swift reaction from groups named on its hate map, many casting the charges as vindication after years of being labeled as extremists. After a grand jury in the Middle District of Alabama returned an 11-count indictment charging the SPLC with 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering, attention turned to groups the allegedly hate group-linked organization itself has labeled as hate groups. One of the more prominent names on SPLC's hate map is the Family Research Council, which was the target of a 2012 attack by an armed man who allegedly found the group's information on SPLC's website. FRC President Tony Perkins said at the time that the Floyd Lee Corkins II of Fairfax County, since sentenced to 25 years in prison, was responsible for wounding his building manager, but believes, quote, he was given a license by a group such as the SPLC who labeled us as a hate group because we defend the family and stand for traditional Orthodox Christianity. Corkins' signed statement of offense acknowledged he targeted FRC because of its views, including advocacy against homosexual marriage, and intended to kill as many employees as he could. The SPLC denied the connection at the time and did not immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment on the blowback. On Tuesday, Perkins called for the indictment of an SPLC a welcome development that marks the beginning of a long-term pattern of misrepresentation and harm. For years, the SPLC has used its platform to label and target organizations with whom it disagrees, blurring the line between legitimate concern and ideological attack. With over $750 million in their endowment, which includes offshore accounts, the SPLC should be held responsible not only for what was done, but for the damage left behind. That's right, drain them dry. Shannon Adcock, leader of the... What a great name. Shannon Adcock, leader of the Midwestern Parental Rights Group, of the Midwestern Foreskin Restoration Committee. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Responded to SPLC's indictment by noting it had posted incredibly inflammatory rhetoric against us as parents simply for standing up for parental rights and liberty. Quote, many of my friends across the country have been labeled by the SPLC as well, while meanwhile there are legitimate terrorists running around this country and they are silent on those efforts while targeting law-abiding people such as Illinois and our friends Moms for Liberty, Parents of Indian Education, Courage is a Habit, and many others. So we celebrate this news. This is a good move by the FBI. Adcock said she would purchase a bottle of impronounceable French word to celebrate. Awake Illinois website. Awake Illinois' website used the indictment to solicit donations, suggesting new donors choose "Suck It, SPLC. Your hate can't cancel us" as a reason on its drop-down menu. PragerU, the education media nonprofit founded by conservative commentator Dennis Prager, was also featured on the hate map. Marissa Streit, the group's CEO, told Fox News Digital on Wednesday that the DOJ's indictment appears to confirm everything that people knew about the SPLC. The alleged shell game fraud reveals the center as what it really is, a leftist political outfit and an actual hate group masquerading as one fighting for civil rights, she said, as PragerU also highlighted its recent own video analysis of the SPLC, the anti-hate group that is a hate group. Now, we all have our reasons to dislike PragerU because of Con Inc. and all of that. But, I'll let this slide because it serves our purposes here. Quote, anyone paying any attention knows its hate map is just a list of ideas that the SPLC wants to destroy. ACT for America Act for America, a group focused on combating the spread of radical Islamic ideology and threats from radical Islam, also responded via its founder, Brigitte Gabrielle, perhaps Brigitte. I don't know how she says her name. The SPLC labeled me and my organization, Act for America, a hate group a year ago, she said. Gabriel founded a group after coming to America following years of living under threats of terrorism during the Lebanese Civil War, including attacks from Muslim militants who destroyed her house. The SPLC considers us America's largest hate group, a title we are proud to hold. It's a wonderful thing to see the SPLC finally being held accountable for their lies. Moms of Liberty co-founder Tina Deskovich said the organization's affiliates make up more than half of the SPLC's hate map. That's simply because we're empowering parents to get involved in their school board meetings and because we recognize the difference between boys and girls. The SPLC's hate map has been weaponized against us countless times, including law enforcement where training manuals labeled us an extremist group simply by citing the SPLC. We urge all who give to this dangerous organization to stop doing so immediately. And we call on all organizations who have used them in the past to condemn their actions. Now, also where it's interesting is the things coming out about where the SPLC money is going shows that the SPLC has been using millions and millions of dollars to directly fund all of these glow ops that we know that somebody was funding. They were paying informants inside all of these so-called white supremacist groups, inside of quote unquote violent anti-Semitic groups. They had agents in there and oftentimes were directly funding the leaders of these groups that were used as whipping boys in the media to point to. So all of that is interesting. I could not find a single article that neatly contained all of that. If I do in the future, I will use that for a dragon and we'll look at the specifics of it. But it's basically what we all thought, and it's coming out in discovery and coming out in the court case. So we look forward to more good things about this is what I will say. So let's go ahead now and move to the white dragon, which is this beautiful lady here. The white with us tonight is gifted with magic. She uses her powerful gifts to help both her clan and the empire. She also uses her magic to learn of other worlds like ours. She chose this story tonight because it represents the real dangers that human whites face in our world: manipulation and usury by those who rule us. Her question, and it comes to you first, Dave. Do you think the SPLC will be taken down by this, or will it continue after this blows over? Do you think this will have any impact on the socio-political landscape?
I don't think the SPLC is going anywhere. Right. First off, the legal actions are just forfeiture actions, so they're only seeking like the $3 million back. They're not they're not going for blood like they should be. And already in the leftist media, there is so much cope and bullshit about how this is just the Trump administration going after them. Like, I read an article about Salon on Saturday, or from Salon on Saturday, where they were just basically almost denying the allegations. Right? They just don't believe it because this SPLC has such a deep entrenched grasp in that space. There's such a retarded icon for these leftist jackasses who believe that this is anything but a hate group. You know, so the SPLC has always been a freaking hate group. It's always been an anti-American hate group.
Just like the ADL.
They're not as bad as the ADL, in my opinion.
No, but they are an anti-white hate group, just like the ADL.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think that they're. I think this will just blow over, and I will be honestly surprised if this prosecution does anything at all, if it goes anywhere, because I don't think that. I think it's just news, right? I think they're just trying to generate news buzz. I don't think that. I have no faith, basically, in Cash's FBI or the Attorney General.
Same
right now to do anything. So that's my opinion. I think that nothing will actually come of this other than people will be able to point to it and go, look, these guys have been funding this shit for so long. And anybody with half a brain will just continue to realize that the SPLC is an illegitimate group of brain rotted retards used as a vanguard for spreading an anti-white message.
Yeah.
And the people who love the SPLC will continue to love the SPLC. You know, they'll buy the narrative that, oh, well, they were just paying informants inside of the groups. It's like, instead of just, you know, wholesale funding a lot of the groups, they're just gonna believe the party lies when it comes to the SPLC. So I genuinely don't believe the SPLC will go anywhere. They may change, you know, some figureheads here and there, which they did back in 2019 anyways. They got rid of one of the main founders. I have no faith that anything will actually come of this.
Okay, noted. Who else wants to take this one?
I think, unfortunately, Fat Dave is right about everything, particularly the fact that they don't even have the power to do it. Because the district courts, over the last decade or so, the district courts has essentially become so corrupt that you can't even reliably prosecute someone without the possibility that a judge will be given the case and then basically make it illegal to even state your own defense. The Trump administration has been quietly in the background replacing many of these judges with white Republicans.
Yeah.
And
I have noticed that is something I do like. Yeah.
I don't think it's quite there yet. I think the chances of the mass prosecutions working aren't quite there yet, and that's why they haven't done it. I think they're working towards it, though. And I think really the purpose of Kash Patel's FBI mentioning stuff like this is to simply to tell the truth, vindicate the conspiracy theorists and us frog people. We're all monitoring the situation, and we're just going to have to accept for it now that these people aren't going to get prosecuted. But we can make sure that they become irrelevant in the culture.
That is something we can help with for sure.
Yeah.
Now, see, I slightly disagree. Now, I think that the prosecution will really come to nothing. There will be some civil actions. I think what will happen is the SPLC has taken a hit to their credibility for the broader sphere, and that's what they've been cashing in on. They've been cashing in for decades, along with the ADL, this idea that they're impartial. So what I kind of envision is they'll just, gut this organization, and then they'll go and form another one that's probably been waiting in the wings for over a decade now.
Well, I mean, how do you gut a multi-billion-dollar organization like the SPLC?
Oh, it's so you pay off your lawsuits, because there will be multiple lawsuits. You start donate. You keep going through the Act Blue and the Tides Foundation, where this money just gets moved around, and you'll have another shadowy, impartial organization crop up within a couple of years, and they'll have this great weight of, oh yes, we're impartial, we're monitoring all these hate groups, and we're not like the SPLC where we were caught paying them off,
even though it's all the same people working it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we see this time and again. How many times have we witnessed some nonprofit organization or other NGO just shuffle leadership around? That's so. I see the SPLC dying a slow death, but they're going to use that as cover to move all that money over to another organization to continue the great narrative about how white people are bad.
Well, the reason why I'm skeptical about the SPLC going anywhere is big organizations like this, the ADL, things like that, they are so connected to both bureaucratic and corporate powers that it's very, very difficult to destroy them without, let's say, both private and public sector power heads wanting them to be destroyed. Because remember, the SPLC gets multi-million dollars from small donations. They have massive support among like normies. Not only that, they have massive support from rich and powerful people too. And SPLC people are embedded all over the place in America, especially in colleges. Like universities are silly with SPLC goons. So it's very difficult to dislodge and destroy an organization like that. This is why I am of skeptical mind that anything will even change at all about what the SPLC does. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't make them culturally irrelevant and make what they do be just a waste of time and money. Like, I can see us having a cultural victory that renders them defeated, but I don't think that we are going to see them financially ruined or governmentally or corporately destroyed. I don't think that will happen.
To push back on you a bit with that.
Okay, sure.
Do you remember old moveon.org?
No, I don't. I don't remember MoveOn.org.
So that was during the the late 90s, and they were trying to push back against Ken Starr. They and Media Matters were a very large pro-Clinton powerhouse back with the media tours and the influence, and they got caught out doing some I think it was some other shady funding, and they basically are a dead organization now. Now, they still exist, but most of their staff, especially the higher ups, moved on to other organizations. They moved into some of them moved into the Tides Foundation, I believe, and I'm trying to remember where a bulk of the other ones moved. But it just it's a revolving door. They just will keep changing. So this is a burned asset. So like any good spy thriller, they're just moving on and rebranding to something else. So will this change their mission? No, but it'll just change the labels, and that's all I'm arguing for.
Okay. All right. Trym, I know that you're not American and might not be as familiar with the SPLC as we are. Do you have anything on this?
They're an organization that goes around being like, oh, far-right terrorism, oh, this is evil and bad. Turns out they're the ones just they're making the problem so they can get paid. And honestly, I'm a bit on Bleach's side here because, it sounds reasonable to me. And, of course, you can also have it as in Norway where a organization is found out to be corrupt as hell. They bury their heads in the ground and ignore it completely, and nothing happens.
Yeah, I'd like
but I hope that they get some justice for this.
I mean, I of course want to see justice for these anti-white scumbags, but we probably won't see it. And yeah, there's the Mark Potok, probably a Jew, hangs Post-it notes and has I saw pictures of beside his terminal. He has notes tracking the decline of white people by percentage. Like these people know what they're doing. They know how anti-white they are. They are proud of it. And if you listen to them, they will tell you how anti-white and proud of it they are. He doesn't mind being videoed sitting in front of his computer or whatever it was with this big list showing the decline of white people in the United States. He has that by his workstation. He's proud to be on camera with it. It's just, Captain Corgi says, literal anti-white demon. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is why I think that eventually these people will not be a problem, because there will eventually be pushback to a point to where everyone who's white knows it's us or them. And I hope that cooler heads and smarter people prevail before we have an ugly, nasty, violent outcome to this. But even if we get to that point, I still think we'll win and we'll come out on top. I don't want all that. But one day, one way or another, this will end. And I think we will all live to see
what they deserve. Yeah, they will get what they deserve because, as always, they stretch too far. They are getting more and more sloppy and more desperate. I don't know how it will happen. Only thing I know for sure is that it's gonna happen.
It definitely feels like it's coming. I'll tell you that. We will see. We will see what the next few years brings. But I think that in our lifetimes, like I said in the last topic, I think we're going to see some kind of major shift, whether good or bad for us. I don't know. But this can't keep going the way it's going in perpetuity. Something is going to happen. So, with that being said, we have some very kind donations over on Entropy I want to get to before we move to Treasure. So, let me refresh all the sites, read people's paid chats here.
Oh, we had one more dragon.
Oh, we do. I forgot about the Asheville story. That's right. Let's get to the paid chats anyway.
Oh no.
Okay.
The Asheville story is if you know about Asheville, North Carolina, it's a sad story. It's a sad state of affairs. Not a specific thing didn't happen, but it's just a sad state that it lives in. So over on Entropy, we have 3 things in. First, from a guest on the stream, Fat Dave. Thank you, Fat Dave. Fat Dave just gave me $25 and says, I paid for this chat.
Dave, why don't you give us money on the Honest Circle? Come on.
No shit.
Gotta lay you greedy bastard.
We also
See how
have,
it is.
We also have $5 from Matt Bell. Here's a couple of shekels to celebrate the successful UK media cover-up of Prime Minister Keir Starmer's arson trial of the Ukrainian Rip Boys that took place today. I saw a couple of things about that, but I didn't look into it. I might look at it later. Now we have quite a bit from Mr. Paulie B, who shares 50 cockin' dollars. Thank you very much, Paulie B. I appreciate that big dick donation. That's pretty good. Paulie B for $50. The quote left will never condemn the SPLC from their frame. We all know what this is. MAGA equals gay race communists doing the speed limit. They are left jacketing the chuds to their right deviation in Stalinist language. In other words, they inhabit the leftist frame that white organization is violent extremism and amplify it. MAGA delinda est. Yeah, I mean, I largely agree with you. He goes on to say, I think that MAGA is simply Jewish to the core at this point. A bitter pill to swallow, but I've learned to swallow it. I've swallowed more bitter pills before. Mainstream conservatism, as such as it is, must die. Let's see. Woke is left deviation, and Democrats are, quote, woke. Unite the right attendees are right deviation. Took me a long time to really appreciate the framework I learned of this from Academic Agent, because he's probably smarter than I am, but I get it now. Yeah, I mean, no offense to you, that I don't quite get what you were saying there in the middle part about the woke left deviation thing, but no, I follow everything else except that. I do think that many of us who were sensible always worried that MAGA was just going to be some kind of containment and we were just going right back to the Zionist war machine of G.W. Bush. We were always cautious of that, but many of us hoped for the best, especially with all of the difference in rhetoric and the boldness of different of Trump's rhetoric around certain topics. But it seems in the end, we got John McCain again. As we were warned, no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain. And unfortunately, you know, I do think that Trump has done some good stuff, but I don't know if it's just like I talked about last week or the week before. It might just be the seat of the president itself is so compromised and has so many strings attached to it. It doesn't matter who comes to power. You still have to do certain things when you sit in that chair. It could just be that. I don't know. But thank you for the money, as always, Paulie B. That's a great contribution. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree, too. I think that AA has slowly lost its grip on reality since he ended UO. I think the problem is its academic nature. I've noticed this streak of anti-American rhetoric coming from several different British right-wingers who obviously would not be in any contact with the zeitgeist of what's going on in America right now. And they're being fed this idea that there's absolutely nothing going on here except for neocon action. I don't want to begrudge them too much, but yes, AA contradicts himself all the time.
He sure does.
He does play this kayfabe game where he says cringe on purpose to get normies away.
Oh yeah,
but
all
the
time.
problem is he keeps saying the cringe. It doesn't stop.
And also keep in mind, I agree with a lot of his academic takes on things, but I also think, like you said, he only sees the world through a shut-in academic lens. And like a lot of academics, doesn't see the forest for the trees in a lot of situations. And and honestly, as much as I love and respect AA's academic analysis, I would have a beer with AA. I would invite him to come visit my family for Christmas. I like Academic Agent. I consider him a friend. But I think that he has really bad takes on politics rather often. And I think that political, what would I call it? I think that political hot takes are not his strong suit, I don't think. I don't think he's very good at that.
Yeah, his American politics has completely become his blind spot, and he's ignoring things that were told by him on guests on Cigar Stream just a year in the same year that he ended UO. Yes,
yeah, like myself included. I was on many, many streams with him, and he has this problem where when he speaks, it acts like the way he speaks makes it sound like he is incredibly anti-white and anti-American when he's giving political analysis. He does not have the ability to easily differentiate between I'm talking about power structure and I just hate Americans because they give me the ick. And he goes back and forth with that constantly. And I think a lot of that is because he likes to be the Vince McMahon who plays the heel and makes people angry because that gets him attention. It gets him hate follows. It gets him hate watches. Like he openly says he does this. It's just, I don't think that leads to someone who you should reliably get your political opinions from.
No. He's blocked me on X because I called him an ignorant anti-American cunt.
I tried to be more respectful, so he hasn't blocked me yet.
I directly called him an anti-white piece of shit to his face once on stream.
I saw that clip. Yep.
Yeah.
Because he said he wanted to destroy America, including all Americans.
Yeah, but that was part of a more complex conversation with me and Marcus and a few other people. But like the point is, AA and I are still friends. Like we still talk. He's not going to ban me. He knows that we disagree on some things, and he knows that I think some of his takes are shit. But we still consider each other friends. I like what he's done in regards to bringing people together, getting people to talk. His brand and him making money is his business. Does he have bad takes? Yeah, he does. But I've also learned a lot from him. There's a lot to learn in elite theory. There's a lot to learn about looking at American as an identity being always a false identity pushed by the anti-white, non-white machine. What is the central banking cartel? What is the ADL? What are the Zionists? Like, he brings a lot of intellectual usefulness to the table. I give him credit for that. I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from the books he's recommended for me to read. I like him. So I'm not here to slander him and say, don't ever listen to him. There are a lot of good reasons to listen to him. Just like with every content creator, myself included, don't take what we say and commit it to your memory as your opinions and your ideas. Listen to us, but know that we can be wrong. We can have bad days. We can have bad takes on things. I change my mind on things when I get better information or when someone makes a well-reasoned argument against what I used to think a year ago. You should be that way too. So that's what I have to say about Academic Agent. I really like him. I don't dislike the man, but I don't agree with a lot of the shit he says, especially.
Yeah. Watch his Adam Curtis streams. They are absolute gold.
Yeah, they're great. They're fantastic. A lot of his old cigar streams are fantastic too, for just the old book analysis. Great streams those were. Dissident
I mean,
Final Jeopardy Small Hat Edition.
Yeah. Timu James Lindsay. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's brutal.
I'm welcome.
I hear you, Paulie B. I hear you. Like, I agree with most of what you said in your entropy comment, but just be careful with the absorbing opinions from AA, because not only do his opinions change frequently, I don't think he is in touch with like a normal way of thinking on things. I'll say that. Like, he's very much an academic autist. But anyway, that's enough about that. We have another dragon to get to, so let's do it. That was the white dragon, which leaves only one left, the Asheville outcome. Fat Dave, who takes it first? It can be you.
Yeah, I'll jump on it. I'll take it first. Listen.
All right. This is not a very important topic, but I've been to Asheville, North Carolina many, many times, especially when I was young, and it went from being one of the nicest places to visit to a crime, homeless person, drug, and violent indigent shithole in like 20 years. So let's talk about it. The once charming U.S. mountain escape has transformed into, quote, nasty, crazy, and scary city. For years, Asheville, North Carolina marketed itself as a mountain escape for breweries, boutique hotels, and Blue Ridge Mountain views. But residents and critics say a different reality has taken shape in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Panhandling in intersections, public intoxication, homeless encampments, and an unsafe downtown. Carla Mumpower, a private practice clinical psychologist, lifelong Asheville resident, and former city council member who served from 2001 until 2009, said the city's current challenges stem from decisions made over decades. Asheville began its efforts to address homelessness at least 3 decades ago. I'm hearing echo from somebody. Is anybody else hearing that? Is that just me? It's just a feedback problem. I guess not. Okay. Asheville began its efforts to address homelessness at least 3 decades ago. This effort accelerated in the early part of the century with the first 10-year plan to end homelessness, Mumpower told Fox News Digital. That plan was ill-advised, but passed with a supermajority at the time. Let's see if people in chat are also hearing that echo effect. Anybody else hearing that? I'm hearing
I hear it
say
too.
a second time. Like,
Yeah, I was hearing it too.
See
But
if
I,
it happens.
everyone in chat,
coming
mute
from me.
yourself. Everyone in chat, mute yourself. Let's or I mean, not in chat. Everybody on the panel, mute yourself.
Shut the fuck up, chat.
All right, I have everyone muted. Let's see if I have the same problem. Testing 1 2 3. No, I'm not hearing the echo anymore. So it was definitely one of you. So I am unmuting all of you, and mute yourself unless you're speaking. All right, there we go.
It wasn't my clicking, was it?
No, I was literally hearing my own words echo back to me from someone. So I don't
That's
know who.
weird.
It hadn't happened the rest of the stream. It just now started happening. But anyway, let's move on. The plan was ill-advised, but passed with a supermajority. At the time, I suggested to the council that any plan that removed personal accountability from helping the equation was doomed to fail. Mumpower said the city continued down the same path ever since. I'm hearing that feedback again from somebody. I don't know who it is. It wasn't a problem earlier. Anyway, I'm going to continue.
I think it's you, Bleach.
I actually physically turned my microphone off when I'm not talking.
Interesting.
Okay. That plan and subsequent plans have failed with equal enthusiasm. Homelessness, drug abuse, and related crimes have increased relentlessly under the watch of local homelessness experts and a governing body that is dominated by liberal Democrats and those with an even more extreme view to the left. That lack of balance, the last conservative on the council left in 2009, 17 years ago, has led to a myopic repeat of errors. Asheville, North Carolina was once a tourist hotspot, but is now plagued by homelessness, crime, and public intoxication. He also argues that... I'm sorry, that was the caption for that picture. It was in the same text as the article, so I foolishly read it. He also argued that city leaders relied on ideas that were not grounded in practical solutions. As regards homelessness, Asheville has a persisting history of pursuing fantasized interventions over more realistic, trackable solutions. The Asheville Buncombe Continuum of Care, the local government-supported coalition responsible for coordinating federal homelessness planning and services in Asheville, said homelessness in the region is at its highest level on record in the latest count. Data from the group show the 2026 point-in-time survey found that 824 people experiencing homelessness, a 9.1% increase from 2025. That included 334 people living unsheltered, up 1.8% from the prior year. Nearly 500 others were in shelters or transitional housing, a rise the continuum of care attributed partly to expand emergency shelter and transitional housing, no doubt due to the hurricane. These fantasized interventions, Mumpower said, were accompanied by the city's pursuit of defunding the police department. The council's political dismantling of the police department, resulting in a 40% reduction due to retirements and resignations, had a dramatic impact on crime in Asheville, he said. Most smaller crimes are no longer enforced or realistically tracked. and return on investment costs have skyrocketed. We have officers who earned 150,000 USD in overtime last year due to manpower shortages. Enforcement is not possible without adequate, motivated personnel. The direct impact on residents is increased and unenforced crime, direct exposure to intoxication and violent street behavior, and burdensome taxes and fees to chase the recycled program pretenses. Mumpower said many local residents have simply stopped going downtown. The single most common phrase uttered by county and surrounding area residents is, "I don't go downtown anymore. It's nasty, crazy, and scary." So here we have anti-whiteism ruining yet another beautiful small town. So let's move to the last dragon of the evening, the green. The green with us tonight is the same clan warder who spoke with us a few months ago and is glad to be back. He chose this story tonight because he thinks the humans of our civilization need to be reminded of the harsh realities of nature. It's good to see responsible men wanting to fix the problems caused by the purposeful refutation of nature, so he asks us this tonight. Fat Dave, what methods of helping the homeless, if any, do you think are reasonable and positive to society? What do you think could be done in the short term to help this kind of problem?
I don't think that government intervention is as the solution to homelessness. Because it's been proven time and time again that government intervention doesn't lead to anything but more government intervention. It doesn't have any solutions at the end of it. I think if government's going to intervene, they should be giving that money to private charities to help clean up the homelessness. And I also think that a big portion of the homelessness problem is because of substance abuse and because of lax regulation on substance abuse and lax enforcement on substance abuse. Because many of the people that are homeless are homeless because they're friggin' addicts. They can't control themselves, and instead the government just enables them.
Yep. You've probably heard me
I
say
don't-
about my experience in Albuquerque, the same thing happened. In like the 8 years I was in Albuquerque, they destroyed everything. They brought in these people from California, the anti-white shitlibs who ran the university. They turned every clinic into basically a revolving door for homeless drug addicts and crazy people. And the enshittification of every system and service in Albuquerque happened during the few years I was there. I watched it happen.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like California is like 15 years into a 5-year plan to end homelessness. It's just a big self-perpetuating machine, and the government is incapable of, outside of law enforcement, right? That they're using the wrong mechanisms, because instead they're sending in all this bullshit social work nonsense when they should be sending in law enforcement to fucking crack down on it. And and I don't think making homelessness illegal is the right solution, but making public drug use, making panhandling, making so many of the mechanisms that perpetuate homelessness illegal and punishable will do a lot to solve those problems.
I 100% agree. However, the only thing I don't agree with is making homelessness illegal. I think in a city, in a municipality, you have to have a place to stay.
Yeah.
Like, you have to. You can't just be living out on the street. Clean that shit up. Get those people out of there. Be like, okay, do you not want to stay in this homeless shelter? Then we're going to escort you to city limits, give you a kick in the ass, and if you come back in the next 48 hours, you'll be arrested and you'll have to spend 30 days in jail. Oh, do you like that? Do you want to spend time in jail? Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, they did it here. They did it here in Boise because they had a big issue with, they had an anti-camping ordinance. So the city passed an anti-camping ordinance. And of course, all the spastics cried and moaned about it and took it to the Ninth Circuit, where the Ninth Circuit was like, oh, well, we're a bunch of fags and we have to, rule against what the people of the city want. And then the Supreme Court overturned it and said, yeah, you can make you don't have a legal right to set up a tent on the street. You don't have a legal right to sleep in public like that.
Right. Like you don't have a
So
right
now-
to be fentanyl leaning in front of the courthaus. Like, you don't have
Definitely
a right
not.
to do that.
Yeah, no. And they cracked down on public intoxication here pretty seriously. I mean, they're not going down to the back alleys and picking people up, but if they catch you on the street in downtown, then you would be in trouble. Another thing they recently did was put in another anti-camping ordinance where you can't even sleep in your car for 24 hours. Like you can't, because by my apartments there's a back street that was always filled with fucking RVs. Like there's all these people, it's like a roving band of gypsies moving from one place to another in their RVs and their hoarder vehicles, and just spending a week on the back street, you know, and I was gonna say bringing down our property value because that's not a thing, but just making the neighborhood look shitty, right? And making it so I don't want to walk on that street because I know there's a bunch of meth heads staying in a motorhome.
Yeah.
And that's not how shit should happen in a city, right? If you want to go out in the countryside and sleep in your motorhome, that's fine, but you don't need to do it in the city where you can basically make it suck for everyone around you. I'm tired of it, right? And and I'm grateful that our city actually, the city actually did something about it. We have a homeless shelter. We have, and it's a church run, right? We have religious run homeless shelters. And I feel like that's the proper way to do it is through a religious organization. Every time the state gets in front of it and tries to make, and tries to fix something, the only thing they do is create a permanent job for somebody.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it. I think that money needs to be given to private charities to basically religious organizations who will use that money in a Christian fashion to help the homeless people. To actually help do something about homeless people. And a lot of the homeless people will complain and are like, oh, well, I can't go in there if I've been caught panhandling. It's like, well, is the solution to that to keep panhandling, or is the solution to that to try to turn your life around and stop being a piece of shit? Right?
Yeah.
Stop being a public nuisance.
Yeah, that's the rub though. Like you can't make laws telling people not, you know, how to live their lives. But what you can do is make laws against public nuisance, public intoxication, loitering, clogging up, you know, necessary public walkways and motorways. Like what you can do
most of those laws are already on the books.
What you need to do is just enforce the laws we already have. We don't need new ones.
Exactly.
We just need to go back to actually not being exploited by anti-white and narco tyranny.
Yeah, 100%. So that's my 2 cents. I'll let someone else jump in.
That was a good talk, Dave. Yeah, you and I are very much of the same mind on this. Let's hear from somebody else.
I can go first. It's pretty much a little bit of a warning, because Norway, it is technically illegal to be homeless, and you will be given a house, regardless. But not many of them use it, so they just walk around and do absolutely nothing. Just shoot up more drugs and all that stuff. And it's also a great example of why you never should trust the government to do anything, because homeless problem means that there's an institution for that. And then if there's an institution for a problem, that problem is never going away because they're too soft-handed and they want to keep making more money. So honestly, just having a outside organization which is far more morally capable, like the church, as Dave said, would be a better solution. But in a country like Norway, it would have to go through the state because we don't really have that type of structure. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of a problem that won't be able to get rid of, because you can try to outlaw things and all that as much as you want, but in the end, if you can't find a group, pardon the term, activist group who burns for this the cause and wants to actually help, The only way you can do it is like through mandate and laws, which won't do much unless you have someone in there who is dedicated to solving the problem, and you give them the ability to be rather heavy-handed with the worst excesses of it as a way of putting up an example.
Okay. Bleach 3.
Oh, I've been cooking on this topic for years now.
Oh, please, let's hear it.
So the first step, ban Narcan. Just ban it. These fuckers OD, fine. I don't care. The second thing is add this. I know this will ruffle some feathers, but we have to return to civil fines on goynip. It's just the weed just gets out there. It makes a lot of people more apt to be homeless. It's the gateway thing, but it's more. I see it in my local city. It's like you can always tell the smell of that goynip floating in.
Wait,
and you always see the homeless. Homeless.
Fucking dial-up sounds. Going up? You called it going up? I'm
Yeah, going up. Yeah. You never heard that
word ever?
No, never heard that before. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, yeah.
So, so that's the first step when you to address the substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to have reopening massively of mental health institutions, because some of these people are just they're just not there.
The shuttering of asylums is one of the worst things to ever happen to us, and it's a major part of the anti-whiteism that's been perpetrated against us via anarcho-tyranny. Because basically, it's like, were ugly things done at these asylums? Yes. Were people inside exploited and mistreated? Yes. Those things did happen. But the asylum system served a very necessary part of civilization, which is taking all of these unfit, misfit pieces of human refuse and getting them out of the way of everyone else trying to live a structured, ordered life. Mm-hmm. Like, they served a very necessary service to the functioning of society as a whole. And this, even if all of the horror sob stories were true that we were told about asylums, which they aren't true, by the way, many of them, even if they were all true, it's a price I'm willing to pay to not have every city I have ever been to just full of homeless people and drug users and psychos stumbling around. Get them out of here. Get them out of sight. Get them away from normal functioning society. Remove them. Yep. Get them out of here.
And the next thing, and this was also shut down largely due to the Social Security Act of 1935, poor farms. We need to bring those back, because you would get people that are, they're struggling, but maybe they're functional. They need a leg up. So you open these poor farms, preferably run by a true nonprofit, not an NGO.
Right.
You get them away from the environment that is causing them to continue to backslide. You teach them skills, whether it be in agriculture, or you could this day and age, you could teach them IT skills, what have you. And you start that process. You also really, one of the other things about this, and it gets back to the poor farms, you have to give these people an actual, a physical safety net, not this, we're just going to go and pump people through the system. So you get these, mid-level manager types, all of these social workers having jobs. We need to discard all of that.
Dante, that's mean.
What was, I missed it. What was said?
Whoever's talking is right.
Why is that mean?
Because Trym and Bleach sound the same.
Oh, they do?
Oh my. Bleach basically has the most effective solution, and I'm still trying to use silken gloves, but I'm gonna be honest. Bleach's solution is the only one that will work quickly and create a more stable and effective society.
And because America used to have tons of these things where they were called like work programs or housing programs, where poor, down on their luck, or born into abject poverty people could have housing and be taught basic skills, farming, working at a factory, basic stuff. And through that work program, you would earn a little bit of money, and they would help you find low rent housing somewhere and help you get a job. That used to be a thing. But then in comes the anti-white anarcho-tyranny machine, shuts down almost all of those, gets rid of all the asylums, and just wants to patch it with shoveling all these people into these healthcare clinics and giving them all the condoms and drugs and Narcan and all this other shit. And like, it just doesn't work. It's incentivizing the problem instead of stopping the problem.
And to reinforce what you and Dave have been agreeing on, and so far everyone, we need to go back
Methadone.
to...
That was the other one that got big in the 80s and 90s.
Yes,
yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
We really need to go back to religious and other civic organizations taking care of these people, because they're best suited. And if it's anything like my church, someone comes in with a problem, they'll sit them down, they'll interview them, and they'll try to figure out solutions. And sometimes the solution is, hey, you're a junkie, you don't want to fix it, beat it. Yeah, that's the way you have to be. You can't coddle these people. You have to be very stern with them, because that's kind of what they've been lacking in their life in general. And I want these people to succeed. I want these people to get out of that. But saying, hey, here's some cash, here's some Section 8 housing, here's your Narcan so you can just shoot up all day long, that's not going to help anybody in the long run. And we're going to get an Asheville every time.
Especially considering whenever you use an anti-OD medication like Narcan, the withdrawal symptoms of snapping someone right back to sobriety that quickly are immense, to the point that it's very common that such people lash out at cops in a violent way. They can't just apply Narcan and then get them help. It's not like that. It's not all happy fun time for everyone involved. No, it turns into a possible murder situation for the cop.
Yeah.
The system does not work, and Narcan is not the solution. The solution is returning to a traditional society.
Now, Azimuth in chat decided to share something with us that he used to be a fuck up, and he was saved by a program, and he's been clean 12 years. And he says, furthermore, later in the chat, the first time I was offered a way out, I immediately took it, and I think there's a lot of people like me out there. Yeah, there are.
I'm sure.
Also. And that's why, if you get help from people who genuinely want to help, they will help you. I'm not saying you need to shut down all the help. I'm saying that you need to turn off the spigot to all of these, let's just give people drugs and more drugs and free crack pipes and free condoms and tell them they didn't do nothing and just let the problem continue. No, like, I want the kind of programs to exist that helped you. I'm not saying get rid of all of them. I'm saying we need to get rid of all these bullshit programs that only make the problem worse.
What it needs to be is accountable, and this is why Ayn Rand opposed forced altruism. When it's done by the state, you can't control it, and it just goes into a black hole, and it ends up being an endless faucet that people take advantage of forever.
Yeah.
That's in Norway.
The answer is personal charity, where you give to someone that you know and expect and is accountable to you that they will improve in their life. So I'm okay with there being help programs. There just needs to be requirements.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I say we
Down
got to
with
give
that,
it to we give it to the churches, we give it to the religious organizations, to private organizations that have the ability to say no to people, right? Like, there's a fucking guy that stands on the Interpass. I see him all the fucking time, and he's just some short, fat white guy that's super old, and he's got, this old guy, and he's out there with a fucking sign that says, vet with the family, anything will help, which is a total fucking lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
almost 100% of the time a lie. Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
I caught a panhandler getting in their brand new Mercedes because it was just a job to them. And it's like, no, fuck you.
Well,
no.
Yeah, no, I saw that fucking guy buying lottery tickets, and I'm like, fuck you. And the guy at the gas station was pissed because he knows it too. He's like, that piece. And I walked up there after the guy left, and the clerk at the gas station was like, that piece of shit stands up there and fucking begs for money and comes here and buys fucking lottery tickets. I hate that son of a bitch.
Oh dear God.
And I've seen people from my complex that are out fucking panhandling too. Like, panhandling is a whole nother thing. I fucking hate panhandlers with a burning passion. it pisses me off more than anything because I think it's literally one of the most debased things you can do. It's one of the most undignified things you could fucking do. And allowing people to do it, to debase themselves in public
that's why hundreds of years ago in
society.
our society, like being a beggar was looked down on as like being the untouchable class of society.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to know a fun fact? In Norwegian cities, we call beggars is just the same as a gypsy, because gypsies are literally making a business out of begging and being panhandlers. When you go through Norwegian cities around 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, you will see them grouped up having morning meetings of where to start begging in their rotations. Just all panhandlers should just be removed quickly and easily.
Oh my god, this reminds me of when Sargon and a bunch of other people exposed that panhandlers in the UK were making like £28,000 a year just doing that instead of getting a real job, and it had fewer costs and they didn't have to commute and they could quit whatever they wanted.
Well, I bet they didn't have to pay taxes for income on that either.
Right.
No, they didn't. It was more profitable than being fraudulent on even welfare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do more than the frickin' Somalis. Christ.
Well, the Somalis were committing an entirely different kind of fraud where they break in millions and they needed pamphlets to be told how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those stupid motherfuckers that give them money piss me off just as much.
Oh, yeah, same.
When I see someone handing that piece of shit $20 out of the side of their car window, I want to walk up and slap them. It's like, fuck you. You are making this piece of shit stand here and make everybody uncomfortable. Well, I'll share a quick story before we move on. One time it was a long time ago, and I had my kids in my car when I had a truck with a back seat, and the windows that kind of just jimmied open, they didn't roll down.
Yeah, I know those kind. Yeah,
open windows. And we were at the intersection.
I'm in Tennessee, Dave. I know a thing or two about pickup trucks.
Yeah. So we were at an intersection, and there was a dude standing there holding a sign, and we're sitting there at the red light, and I hear my kid in the back, like my son in the back seat, and he's like 6 at the time, and he's yelling, "The light's red, you can cross." To the fucking panhandler. and I just kind of laughed at first until I look and realized that he's yelling it out the window with the window cracked. "The light's red, you can cross."
So good. Oh man.
Yeah, it was fucking hilarious. So
I keep a can of Spam in my car. It's like, if they want something, I'll give them a can of Spam. If they don't want it, I tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, if anything helps, here you go.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, we have hit treasure time. And before I read the paid chats, the last paid chats for the evening, I always like to show for my good friends at the OGC. Tonight's American Spirits is about the Barbary Pirates. I definitely don't want to miss that one. It'll be a good one. Let me put the link in chat here. I just grabbed it for you. There we go. It'll be in about an hour from now. And depending on if they start on time, I might be there for some of it. But usually with a late start like that, I just have to listen to the next day because I keep farmer hours here. But let's go over to see what Paulie B has to say again on entropy. Thank you very much for your dollars, Paulie. Paulie, for $3, says local homelessness experts and a governing body dominated by liberal Democrats could be here, he thought. I hate local homelessness experts and liberal Democrats. Salute for the stream and chat. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Paulie B. Glad you're here, and thank you so much for financially supporting me. It means a lot. All right. I don't see anything else new there. Nothing new there. I will check PayPal and Cash App one more time. All right. Now, gentlemen, we have some very funny memes to look at tonight, and I can't wait. I've been wanting to get to these all night because we have some real bangers in there tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go to... Okay, need to close that. Close that. All right. Uh-oh, somebody sent me a PM. I think it was Trym. Is it a meme? Let's see.
It's a screenshot.
Okay. All right. Give me a second here. We'll start with that one since Trym wants me to show it. All right, let me get that open here. All right. Okay, meme time. This is courtesy Trym. Very beautiful, foxy young black lady says, "I'm live now playing the piano. 200 years ago, I would have paid top dollar for you."
Thomas Jefferson approves.
Next up, I grabbed this one because it reminded me of 3 of 12 because he likes technology and robots and shit.
Oh no.
You can now buy a robot girlfriend for $200,000. Why would you spend a fortune on something with no conscience, feelings, and no feelings and no soul when you could buy a robot girlfriend for $200,000?
Oh, that's sad.
That's mean.
Don't tempt me.
That's mean.
I'm still one of those men who are like, no, I like women.
Well, good luck with that. All right. If Japan has taught us anything, it's that nuclear bombs are less destructive than diversity.
Yeah, no kidding.
Look at this school in Toronto.
All right.
Christ, dude.
So, and thus, we nuked Canada.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I love this.
We could-
Girlfriend, did you use my expensive shampoo? My balls.
True story.
I mean, yeah.
She then said,
A
keep
real
using
man
it.
shampoos his balls.
Yes.
I have rarely laughed out loud on site at a meme, but today when I was scrolling through all my meme feeds, when I saw this one, I immediately bust out with a genuine LOL. That almost never happens to me, but this one got me. So I was like, this is definitely going in tonight. Oh my god! All right, next up. Okay, here comes the good Trump memes. I have a bunch of these. The attempt on my life has left me in need of a ballroom.
It's so casual about about being having another assassination.
And of
attempt.
course-
I love this guy.
Yeah, and of course, the companion meme to this one is this.
Oh, the slop accounts.
That's no
no.
ballroom.
Hey, it's a ball. It's a room.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean ballroom. I meant ball dash room.
I like this one. Here we have the fat lesbian again.
Oh,
Don't worry, guys. She saved the president again. She's unstoppable.
Oh my god. Darth Powell with his black pills.
Oh, I know.
Jesus.
I like this. Netflix coming soon. Mostly peaceful assassination attempt at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh god.
Oh my god! The first time they show a ginger.
Yeah, the joke is they always replace gingers with Africans, so it's funny.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And then we have buckbreaking.com from the producers of Hidden Colors comes the new buckbreakingmovie.com.
Oh god, I've seen a version of this with Michelle Obama on top of him.
Oh, God.
Speaking of,
No.
we have this.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, I wish.
God,
God,
damn.
Idiot Curb was unbit that day.
Bro, they never get me down. Oh,
And now, this one.
You know Joe Rogan could. You know he could.
Oh, where's Sam Hyde memes with this?
God,
we're not doing that. We're calling you slur.
Right.
And the best one of these is probably this one.
Oh, okay. Sometimes Kyle is funny.
Yeah. No. it's
Actually,
pretty good.
he's jealous right now because he wants
No, like,
to be the
look.
bottom.
Look, when I first started trying to understand what was going on, way back in the before time, like 2014, 2015, I actually liked a lot of what Kyle Kalinske had to say. He spoke very sensibly about policy. He spoke very sensibly about trying to stay neutral and not let your hatred of one or the other thing get in the way of decisions. I didn't realize until, maybe after a year or two of listening to him, what a wolf in sheep's clothing this motherfucker is. So
Yeah.
I do think that Kyle Kalinske is not an absolute retard. I do think that he's kind of a retard because he didn't know what farms were when he flew over them. That was pretty galling. Do you guys remember that? where he took a picture from the plane and it's like, what the hell's going on with the grass down there? Because he was looking at a phone, you know. It looks like
no, he's a fucking retard.
So it's like, my opinion on him has soured over the years, but out of all of the leftoids I ever listened to, I found him one of the most palatable. And he actually said a few useful things here and there. So I don't really hate him, but he does occasionally share some really funny stuff.
I do.
Next up, we have my absolute favorite version of this meme. This. Oh my god!
Let's be fair. Let's be fair to Jesse and James. They would have gotten past at least to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, they would. They would have a good disguise.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I like it. They have the bodybuilder
disguise-
Officer Cheney back
The
there.
disguise theatrics was a big part of Team Rocket. They always like to be in disguise. But that was by far my favorite one of these that I found today, so I just had to put it in the lineup. Now we move to the SPLC memes. When you've been spreading right-wing extremist content for years and haven't received your SPLC check.
Where the fuck is my money?
Yeah, where's my money, SPLC? Where's the dollars? All right. Then we have this one.
Did you see Hong Chao talking about how he needed slits in his
Oh yeah, I saw that. That
round
was a good
hole.
one. Yeah, I saw that. Then we have this one.
God.
Most raped. Oh, damn. That's so fucking good. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Lotus for Harris.
And then of course, Stone Toss doesn't miss. Would you mind
Fucking
repeating the
love
racist
Stone
joke
Toss.
you made in the break room? Am I fired? Promoted, actually. And of course, we end with this. That's right, baby.
Oh, it adds new
Oh,
meaning to the scene with his
Oh,
girlfriend in
oh, I
the
know,
convenience store.
Right?
man.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Oh man. Well, we've had a good time. We've had a good time. It's been a fun stream. I have not been very high speed today. I did not sleep well last night, and I was fumbling over my words when I was reading the articles today. I have not been in perfect form tonight, but I had great guests. We had a lot of good talks. We had a lot of good laughs. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Before we bounce, let's have a shill. Mr. Fat Dave is the party leader. Is there anything you want to shill? Anything you got coming up? Maybe something with Bleach Demon?
Yeah. So this Thursday, Bleach and I are talking about Eugene Delacroix from the French Romanticist painter who painted Liberty Leading the People. That will be Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be talking about Romanticism and the French Revolution and European history and our history. So, yeah, join us then.
Sounds
and then,
good.
On Saturdays, we're going to be talking. Of course, we have Sultans of Châtelet on. It's 7 a.m. my time, and I think 9 p.m. Eastern time. But it's
not 9 a.m.
What?
Central, and like
9. No, 9 a.m. Okay, yeah.
and then we have what 1 or 2 p.m. British Standard Time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
2 p.m. British
Well-
Standard, 3 p.m. Norwegian Standard.
yeah, and you can catch Bleach, Trym, and I there every Saturday. And then I know Trym's got something coming up, so go for it, Trym.
Yeah, take it away.
Trym.
Come on, Trym.
Him.
Come here,
Oh
man.
yeah, okay. Dave kind of cut away, so I couldn't hear. He cuts away, so I can't really hear what it says. I have my own YouTube channel, Trym's Artshack. I do art stuff every now and then. There should be a video coming out this Wednesday, and I also do gameplay streams with Bleach as well as Rosa Codal on her channel. So have a look out there, and it's a lot of good fun. We're currently playing Divinity Original Sin. Having a good time.
Ooh.
Oh,
And-
that's a great game. My boyfriend
Oh.
husband guy loves that game. He says it's one of his favorites.
It's
I hope
amazing.
you enjoy it.
And for myself, I'm following the gerrymandering in Virginia. I did a stream with Trym, but with some audio problems early on for the initial Supreme Court hearings in Virginia. I'm probably going to continue to do that as long
you
as
should have me on there next time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should have 3 on. He's good for
Yeah,
that.
I'm moving to Virginia.
Awesome. Wow. We will be talking, I'm sure.
And I guess for my shilling,
Mhm.
I have a video that I'd like to share with the chat. I put it in the private chat. See, it is from a YouTuber known as Laurie Wired, and she apparently managed to put together a hedged reads algorithm that improves performance on virtually all modern x86 systems in order to reduce latency by hedging reads around RAM refreshes.
No
And
shit.
the benchmark data that she's pulled out shows that it actually has significantly reduces latency on more than 10% of reads.
Huh.
That's crazy, including completely removing large stalls on that remove as much as 500 nanoseconds from RAM stalls when they do hit refreshes. This would genuinely improve RAM performance by at least a marginal to over 10% amount in just latency alone. If this is real, this needs to be implemented ASAP.
Let me share that in chat.
Good
When
luck
you said
getting
you
in
shared
there.
it in chat, I thought you meant you shared it.
I shared it in private chat.
Yeah, I got you now. I'm sharing it.
Here I
There
go.
we go.
Hmm.
There we go.
That's really cool.
All right. Well, everybody, I will have a morning walk up in the morning. We'll be back next week with more Discordant Dragons. And depending on how my day goes tomorrow, I might stream a video game. We'll see how I'm feeling. I don't know. But
Awesome.
regardless, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Stay positive. Love your people. Love your heritage. And do everything you can to live a good, positive life. That'll stick it to the anti-whites more than anything else. Keep heart and don't let the ugliness get you down, guys. We'll see you next week.